Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty. I love that intro, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with y'all. As the young people say, I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Wow. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. I got the best intro on YouTube, man. When it when it comes to boxing, like I'm talking about the YouTube boxing community, man, hands down, I got the best intro. Hands down. Absolutely. Yes, I do. You know, I don't want to compete with nobody. I'm just saying I got the best intro on YouTube. And guess what else I have that's the best? I got the best Roll the Tape film crew members on the YouTube boxing community, and some of them are in the chat right now. I got the best chat. Hands down, best chat. For real. Like that. Or as we say in Texas, already. Or as we say in Philly, this joint fire. This joint lit. You hear me? Welcome to another episode and edition of Roll the Tape Podcast. I welcome each and every last one of y'all. We're live in living color. I appreciate all the love in the chat. Welcome to everybody that's acknowledging me in the chat, that's engaging already in the chat. Salute to all of you. Welcome to all of you who are joining in live, who are returning viewers. This might not be your first time here. You may be a returning viewer, and I welcome you and appreciate your viewership. If you are a returning viewer and you have not done so already, I encourage you, please, right now, don't wait until the middle of the broadcast or the end. You can do it now. You can subscribe to the channel right now. I encourage you, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and be a part of the Roll the Tape film crew. And you can also like right now. We only got a few people watching, but don't worry, the viewership will increase exponentially as time progresses. But right now, in the meantime and in between time, come on and click the like button. All you got to do is just hit the like button. And what's going to happen when you click on that like button? What's going to happen is that the education and the entertainment that I provide and produce on the channel, particularly live right now, is going to reverberate all across the world and on the YouTube boxing community streets, as we call them. So go ahead, click on the like button. If you don't want to do it now, I promise you somewhere in between a half hour to about 2 hours, somewhere down the line, you're going to hit the like button because you're going to learn something about the sport and the business of boxing that you haven't known before you encountered this channel. And it's going to be some entertainment value incorporated in it all. So I'm sure you're going to like at least one thing about something that you hear or see on this channel today, live in living color, as the viewership is increasing exponentially. If you are watching the replay of this live, I'm going to tell you right now, I appreciate your viewership as well. Please go in the comment section below so that I can get your feedback and you can get my feedback as well. I love feedback, particularly in the comments section. It allows me to know that you're paying attention, that you're learning something, or that you agree or disagree with me or anybody else that's on the panel that's joining in live. Of course, you know, as we do every now and then, I will do an entire broadcast with just me, which is all good. I can carry a show by myself. You already know that. But most of the time, I love the interaction and engagement, and so do the audience. And so, open live panel is here today. That's why the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Oh, yes, absolutely. Uh, we have a special guest that's going to come join us shortly as well. He's my guy, another content creator. He's like family to me. He will be here soon. And I'm sure we got some heavy hitters in the chat, and some of them might jump up later on in the broadcast anytime they want, of course. That's why the link is pinned to the top. I flew the kite out there, y'all. Absolutely did. You know we got to do our Town Watch check-in. Salute to everybody that's acknowledging me in the chat. You know we got to do our Town Watch check-in, right? And so I want to get that out the way right now. I want to get our Town Watch check-in out the way right now because we got a good show. We have some things to unpack. We're going to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis's. Who's next? That's what I want to know. Who's next for Gervonta Davis? Who's next? Who's his next opponent? We're going to talk about Tank. There's a leaked video. I don't know how long ago the video footage was actually recorded. That's one thing about social media. You can manipulate the timing of things. You can put out a picture or a video that was taken or recorded like 5 years ago, and people would think that it was new. So I don't know, you know what I mean, when that leaked footage of Gervonta Tank's sparring session was actually recorded in live time, but I know it was leaked, I think sometime either today or yesterday. Needless to say, we're going to talk about Tank Davis today and what's next for him. And of course, we're going to give our breakdown and prediction of the Regis Prograis and Devin Haney fight. We gave a preview of it. We gave a preview of it yesterday. What both fighters have in their toolbox as a strength. Now we're going to deal with the breakdown. I'm going to give my breakdown of this fight. And I'm also going to allow people to come up and join us live and live in color on the panel to give their breakdown of this fight and prediction of who's going to win this Saturday evening between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. But we have to do our Town Watch check-in, and then we're going to bring the guest on. Y'all know who he is. I'm going to save who he is until we finish the Town Watch check-in. He is another content creator. He is like family to me. He's my brother. And I'm going to bring him on, and then anybody else can join in. We're going to have a good time today, y'all. Y'all ready for the Town Watch check-in? Because I'm doing way too much talking. You know what I say? Don't take my word for it, right? Yes, yes, yes. Listen, y'all, I'm so glad to be here today. I really am. I love when we come on here and we're able to engage and we're able to talk about the sport of boxing. I'm able to teach people about the business of boxing and provide some entertainment value and make y'all laugh and do all of my, facial expressions that I do, all my theatricals to get you all enticed and galvanize the audience to have a good time. I love it. And so here we go. We're about to do our Town Watch check-in. If you are joining us for the first time, I can't exclude them as well. If you are joining us live in living color for the very first time, I want to say I welcome you as well. Thank you for your contribution with your time. I appreciate you And I look forward to seeing you more and hearing from you more as you continue to view and hear what we're going to talk about on this channel, and that is the business and sport of boxing. Don't allow this to be the first and only time that you come through. Okay? And I'm going to promise you this. If you're a first time visitor with us today, I'm going to promise you this. I promise you. I promise you. I guarantee that you're going to love this show today and you'll be back. All right? Now, to those of you that do not know what we do and why we do it here, it's called the Town Watch Check-In. This is only unique to this particular channel. There's not another content creator that does Town Watch check-ins. So you're not going to find this nowhere else. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want to make sure that we all are on the same page at the end of the workday. That's why we do our Town Watch check-in. It sets the foundation, right? To let us acknowledge publicly that even though we represent different geographical locations, even though we have different opinions, even though we have different perspectives, even though we have different point of views, guess what? We share one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. So I'm setting the foundation early on in the broadcast, because when y'all jump on the panel, we're going to disagree about some things, and it's all good, respectfully so. The audience is going to see us engaging, and we might have some similar perspectives on things. But at the end of the work day, at the end of the work week, guess what? We all love the sport of boxing. So let's do our Town Watch check-in. I'm doing way too much talking. I'm going to start it off first. And what I mean by that, if this is your first time joining us, I am going to acknowledge everybody that's in the chat who provide us with their city, state, island, and or country in the chat. I'm going to publicly acknowledge it, right? And then after I publicly acknowledge it, I'm talking about each one, I'm going right down the list in the chat. After I publicly acknowledge it and we all check in, we're going to move right along with the show. Fair enough? Cool. I'm going to start it off first, representing the DFW area, okay? Dallas-Fort Worth. Y'all know I rep the state of Texas all day. Y'all already know that I'm representing Arlington, Texas, as they taught me when I moved out there almost 6 years ago. Already, Arlington, Texas, Mansfield section to be exact, Tarrant County to be even more specific. But I'm representing the whole DFW all the way, everywhere in Dallas, everywhere in Fort Worth, everywhere in the state of Texas, period. Grapevine, everywhere I'm representing. But I have to represent my hometown. I have to do that because I was here first before I went there second. And I'm talking about the great city of Philadelphia. Nope, not the Philadelphia that's in the state of Mississippi. Nah. I'm talking about the Philadelphia that's in the state of Pennsylvania. We call it Philly. Representing Philly, stand up. Now, it's time to check on in. Who else we got in here? Who else we got? Virginia is in the building. I see you. Salute. Come on, y'all. Let's check in. We're going to get the show popping. But y'all know how it is. This is an icebreaker. But what it also does, it allows us all to get that energy that we need, especially me. When we start checking in, man, my energy started increasing just like the viewership. And I start getting even more excited and more excited when we check in. And this is the way we start the show off so we can set the tone right in the beginning. Who else we got in here? Albany, New York, back in the spot. I see you. Come on, y'all. Step on in. Step on in. Don't stand in the doorway. Step on in. Come on and have a seat. Come on and have a seat and check in. Huh? Seattle, Washington is in the building. I see you. New York is also in the house. I see you. Who else we got in here? Come on, man. East Coast already here. Baltimore, Maryland is in the building. I see you. Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. Come on. Don't stand in the doorway. Come on, step in. Step in. It's cold outside. Don't be leaving the door open and letting the heat out. Step on in the house and come on and have a seat. H-Town in the building. I see you. Ohio all day is in the building. H-Town, know what I'm talking about, is in the building as well. A member of the channel and also a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. Double salute to my girl, 2 Cents Boxing. I see you. Iowa is also in the building. Who else we got in here? Let's check on in, y'all. Come on, let's check in. Y'all know how we do. Show the first-time viewers how we get down on this podcast. Huh? Cleveland, Ohio, the 216 is here with us today. Richmond, Virginia is in the building. See, y'all thought that it was just people from the East Coast that was here. Wrong. We got San Diego, California also in the building. West Side, come on and check on in. Huh? Rockford is also in the house. Come on, man. Dallas, Texas is here, standing strong in the building. Baltimore, representing the Ravens, is also in the building. Come on, man. New York. I'm from New York. New York is in the building. And let me be more specific about New York. BX or B Next, Boogie Down Bronx, is also in the building. See, I represent it all when I see y'all. When I see y'all in the chat, I represent it all. Come on through. Huh? Who else we got? Check on in. We almost done. Can I get one more? Not one more. Like we say in Philly, one more. No, I represent South too. One more. Can I get one more? Can we get one more check-in? Can we get one more check-in before we move on with the show? Just one more. We got the air fryer today. Y'all know the air fryer be warming up. This is why I do the Town Watch check-in too. It's like a dual role that I play. It's like we checking in to set the foundation, but it's also an opportunity for that air fryer. You know, they call me the air fryer. When the air fryer, woo, when the air fryer start warming up. Yeah. I'm on about 100 now. But by the middle of this broadcast, I'm going to be on about 350. Yeah. We'll be about 350. Know what I'm talking about? Wichita, Kansas is also in the building. Salute. We got people from all over the world that support this channel, that view this channel, that watch this channel, that support this channel. We love you. Absolutely. That's it. We don't have no more? No more? I love people with accents. I love how y'all talk all over the world. That's it. We about to get the show popping. Y'all ready? We about to get the show popping. Are y'all ready? All right, we about to get the show popping. Let's pause for station identification. Short commercial break real quick. Then we're going to get the show popping. As the viewership is increasing exponentially. Get this show popping, man. Hold up for a minute. Y'all know what I got to do first, right? Y'all know what I got to do first. I got to show my face. Come on, let me take these off real quick. You know I got to show my face. You know what I'm talking about? I'm never scared to show face. You hear what I'm telling you? I done been in all kind of YouTube beef. Yo, let me tell y'all something. I've been on YouTube since October the 20th. I don't know, it was the 14th or the 20th. But anyway, October of 2022. I did my first little video. And I was doing videos here and there. I was only dropping like 1 or 2 videos a week. I did not know anything about like YouTube, algorithm, none of that stuff. And I'm still a YouTube rookie. But the thing about it is that when I start using the word podcast, some of y'all might not remember this, but my day one supporters and Roll the Tape film crew members, y'all remember this. Right before the summertime, I start transitioning from just doing live videos, and I start transitioning into doing what I like to call podcasts. Same broadcast, still live, but at the same time, I had a specific format, you know, that I was basically getting accustomed to. That's why you see the intro. That's why you see the backdrop behind me. That's why you hear me use the words podcast. That's why you see the logo. All that it's all about transitioning and evolving, and we're going to continue to grow with your support. And I appreciate it. And your support is what help enhance the visual and audio quality of this channel. And it's because of your financial commitment and contributions. So I want to thank each and every last one of you who is going to provide a financial contribution today in advance. But I'm also going to publicly do it as well in real time. But that's the Cash App right at the bottom of your screen. And I very much appreciate it. And your dollars go to enhancing, once again, the audio and visual quality of the content. And also, it enhances the performance. Huh? We're going to talk about performance enhancement today, too. I know y'all don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I just want to talk about it. I need my performance on YouTube to be enhanced. And your contributions and your financial commitment is what help us get it done. Everybody need performance enhancement. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to enhance my performance, and your contributions do that because it allows me to be able to invest more of my time, right? To be more creative, with my content, with the thumbnails. You know what I mean? I need more lighting. I need another 4K camera. I got to put this thing all the way together for y'all, so y'all can have a good experience when you come over here. And that's what your contributions do. I don't want to run that to the ground. I'm just saying, I just want to say this too. And when I say performance enhancements, it don't always have to be about the snack program. But when I talk about performance enhancements, I notice something about a specific fan base. I do. It's like every time I use the words enhancement or the word performance or put both of those words together, look at y'all screen. This what y'all be doing, some of y'all. Y'all remember I screenshotted this when I was throwing a shot at him? This ain't about him, but I like how I put this, I screenshotted this picture when he was wiping his eyes, when he was acting like he was crying. I ain't talking about him. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make light of this thing. We all here to have fun. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all be crying when I say performance enhancements, and then you got some Bud Crawford fans, that's the fan base I was referring to. They be looking like this, wiping their eye, crying. Stop crying, okay? The man done told you what he went over there for, all right? I just wanted to have some fun. Dang, be crying all the time. All because we be talking about what happened in the Terrence Crawford fight against Spence. That's not Spence fans crying. No, it's like people be crying when we talk about the snack program and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Stop crying. We just talking about boxing. It's okay. Speaking of talking about Errol Spence, speaking of talking about boxing, I got to bring my guy on. He's like family. I told y'all after we do our Town Watch check-in, I'm bringing him on. You seen him in the chat a few minutes ago. Y'all know who he is. I'm bringing him on now. He haven't been on here in a couple of weeks. We glad to have him. And that's my D-Town Boxing. D-Town, what's going on, bro? Mic check, one, two, one, two, one, two. Can y'all hear me? Omaha. Code Red, Omaha. D-Town, can you D-Town, can you hear me, bro? Where D-Town at? I don't know what's going on with D-Town. There you go. That's my boy. Hey, you hear D-Town? We can't hear you, D-Town. That's my man, D-Town Boxing with us. We having some technical difficulties, but we're going to put it together. Yeah. How's everybody week going so far? While we waiting on my man D-Town to come through. You on mute, D. Yeah, see was you. Hey, D-Town, you on mute, D? I don't even know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, D-Town? Many Face Publishing, what's going on, bro? I see you in the chat. Trying to see what's going on with. Oh, hold up. We got to see if D-Town might be on this one. All right, there you go. D-Town Boxing, what's going on, champ?
What's going on?
There you go. I was trying to see what was going on. We got a few people in the chat right now. You know, just trying to make sure. What's that? A little glare around it?
You talking about round mines?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, we can see you. No, you good. We can see you. You good. You good. What's going on, bro? Glad to have you again, man.
It's all good, Manager Marty. It's all good. You know me.
D-Town, somebody, I want to put it up on the screen since you just got up here. He's a Terrence Crawford fan. You know him. He's been on this panel 1,000 times. He's been in your chat. Motorsports Sports. He wanted to send you a message if you could read that.
Yeah, I see no bud slander today, D-Town Boxing.
Here's the thing about the motorsports. Don't nobody slander Bud on this channel. Everybody that I know that came on the panel that I know of that spoke about Bud Crawford, they only spit facts. It's not slander when it's facts. I'm just, you know, I'm just saying. Speaking of Bud Crawford and of course Errol Spence, you did a video recently on your channel, D-Town, where you talked about Errol Spence. A lot of people was questioning why he was so silent. Why haven't we heard from, Errol Spence? He's back in training camp from what we've been told. He's trying to prepare now for the rematch. I mean, give us your perspective on Errol Spence, where he is mentally. What's up?
Well, I don't understand why people, and some of the main people that's asking about Errol Spence are some of the ones, as far as Terrence Crawford fans, or people who don't like him. Now, I'm not saying 100%. I'm not saying 100%. I'm just saying most of them, majority of them, are people who are looking for some kind of ammunition to talk bad about Errol Spence. Anybody that follow Errol Spence Jr. know that Errol Spence Jr. really don't talk. Once the ball start rolling, then he comes out, make videos, tweet, or whatever the case might be. But what can Errol Spence say but, according to Terrence Crawford, that they are in the negotiations? So if Errol Spence came out right today and said, hey, y'all, here I am. What's up? I'm doing good, which Derrick James have already said that Errol Spence is doing good. He's in good spirit. He enjoying himself. The same thing that Errol Spence would say if he came out right today. And then you're going to have people ask the same questions about what's going on with the fight. Something that Terrence Crawford have already said that they're in negotiations. So, they want to hear from Errol Spence Jr. But what can he say? I mean, we all know what part of the holdup is because of Terrence Crawford is trying to get something. I don't know what he's trying to get. Maybe it's more money, whatever. I don't know. But best believe me, if the ball was rolling and everything was on the ups, signed, sealed, and delivered, I guarantee you'll start seeing things from Errol Spence Jr. But what can he say? But I'm waiting on Terrence Crawford or Terrence Crawford plus network or whatever the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. What can he say? And if he did say something, they gonna do nothing but shoot it down. So what's the point of him coming out saying anything? This man is ready to jump in the ring and fight Terrence Crawford. And you have some of Terrence Crawford fans, not all of them, just some of them, saying that the fight is going to look the same way, or Errol Spence, he don't want to fight Terrence Crawford, which everybody knows that the holdup in the first negotiations was Terrence Crawford, and everybody knows in the second negotiation, which is already in the contract for a rematch. But Terrence Crawford said that they're in negotiation. So right now it's held up. Part of it is because of Terrence Crawford. So what are we asking, or what are we looking for Errol Spence for? Anything you need to ask, you can ask Terrence Crawford, because Errol Spence is not the holdup. He's waiting on Terrence Crawford to do his thing. He's ready to get prepared for the fight. That man is ready to jump in the ring and fight. That's what he got his mind focused on right now. So he's ready for everything to be signed, sealed, and delivered. And right now we're waiting on Terrence Crawford. So what's the point of everybody talking about Errol Spence? Anybody that follow Errol Spence know that Errol Spence is ready, and Errol Spence is waiting for that contract, or whatever the case might be, or Terrence Crawford's negotiations to be done. Once that is done, now Errol Spence can come out and start saying things and doing videos. So that's my thought on it.
Right. Well, we got Band Up here. I'm gonna let him jump on. Band Up, what's going on, Band Up?
What's good with you, Manager Marty?
Oh, I'm good, man.
What's good with you, D-Town? All right. What's good with you, D-Town? Can you guys
What's
hear me?
going on?
What's up, Band Up?
Oh,
You
I'm
came
sorry.
up here in the car.
Okay.
You
I'm sorry. I'm making sure you guys can hear me. Yo, Marty.
Yo.
Marty.
Yo.
I wouldn't say you don't got no liars. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I feel like you got. I've heard a few people tell a few fibs on here. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let that rest. D-Town, I got something to say. Errol Spence has got to, and I don't want to harp on this. I know how you guys, you know how I can get. But Errol Spence got to answer some questions. He got to answer some questions about what happened to him in that last fight, and why, in his own analogy, why he looked that way. So we, as fans of boxing, and myself as a fan of Terrence, you know what I mean, can have some legitimacy to what, you know what I mean, what took place, because that was 5 years brewing, and I know everybody didn't show out to see Errol perform like that. So if anything, just like Shakur had to answer for himself, you know what I mean, Errol gonna have to further answer for himself, other than right after the fight. That's one thing Errol's gonna have to come out and say. Another thing, just like how we only hearing things from Bud's side on the negotiations, and we hearing Espinoza coming out and say certain things, you know what I mean, Errol should be coming out and saying on his part what's really going on, like he was doing in the build-up, you know what I mean, to the first fight. Errol should, you know what I mean, if everything's not supposed to be, I mean, it was supposed to be at 154. You know, 154 instead of 47, or it's not supposed to be at 47, 54. Then we wouldn't have to wait for Bud to be stripped and all this Jerron boots in us, and is he still at 47? You know what I mean? Errol could have, you know what I mean, knocked that out with his, you know what I mean, because there's two sides to every story. Well, three. You know what I mean? Your side, my side, and what really happened. But Errol, you know what I mean, could have some opinions to say. Not so much as to wait till we make this fight happen and then start talking, you know what I mean, just try to set a fight. I think Errol got some questions to answer before. I think that's one of the reasons why people is looking for him to say stuff, particularly now more than the normal of when he, you know, how he normally doesn't talk.
Well, I mean, we all know that once the fight is on, once Terrence Crawford, they're not in negotiations because of Errol Spence. They're in negotiations because of Terrence Crawford. That's number one. Once that gets solved, I'm sure Errol Spence don't have no problem coming out and saying what happened. He know that when he comes out into videos and do videos, those questions will be there, and I'm sure that Errol Spence don't have no problem, you know, giving the fans what they want to hear. But hey, where you go?
Well, we know that Band Up, he's an. Oh, hold up. I think this him. Oh, hold on, because he just. Oh. Band. Oh, hold up. He's still low. Band Up, can you hear us?
Yeah, I missed that. I'm sorry, I cut out for a second. What were you saying, D-Town?
No, hold on, Detail. I want to make sure that we clear. I want to make sure I give him something. I know you from Seattle, and we have a post office here where I'm at. I can mail you this. I just got this the iPhone 15 Pro Max, bro. You got to get rid of that Boost Mobile phone. You want that Boost Mobile? I can see you a phone, bro. Y'all Crawford fans, y'all got to stop with the Boost Mobile. It's 2024 now. You got to get a new
Hey, I
phone.
don't
The
know how
Boost
other.
Mobile.
Hey, Marty.
Huh?
I don't know how other states. I don't know how other states are, but in Seattle, in certain cities, like they have their own city Wi-Fi. Are you
Oh,
kidding
okay.
me?
What's wrong?
You know
We
what I mean?
good?
So when I be driving and stuff, it cuts off. You know what I mean? Throughout different places. We throughout different places.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro. You know how we joke on the jaw, man. D-Town was.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
I know,
sorry.
I know you trying to, you know what I mean, get me off this Boost Mobile.
D-Town was talking to you, Band Up.
But
He was.
I'm parked now, Marty.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, D.
What I was saying was the Aerosmiths already know when he come out and do videos, when the fight is signed, sealed, and delivered. Because right now we know that they in negotiations because of Terrence Crawford, not Errol Spence. That's number one. Errol Spence already know that when it's time, signed, sealed, and delivered, he gonna start making videos. We gonna start talking to him. He already know that these questions are going to come about. And I'm sure that Errol Spence is ready to answer these different questions. Matter of fact, some of the answers that he's going to tell you, we already know. Now, I understand you saying that you want to hear from Errol Spence. I have no problem with that. But what we saying is we have to get past the first hurdle is the negotiations. And we know how the negotiations can get with Terrence Crawford. He asked for this or whatever, whatever in the past. But first of all, let's get past number one, the negotiations. Once that happened, then Errol Spence would be able to answer these different questions that people have. And I'm sure he have no problem answering the question. So all that is going to come. But let's go ahead and get this fight. Let's go ahead and get the date. Let's go ahead and get the venue so we can go ahead and get past all these things. And plus two, we already know that Errol Spence want to fight at 154. Shortly after he lost to Terrence Crawford, he said he moved up to 154. The only person that's talking about 147 or 154 is Terrence Crawford. So we all know that according to Terrence Crawford, he said that it's up to any fighter to say, hey, write a letter, according to Terrence Crawford, write a letter if you can't make 147. What's the point of doing that if both fighters can agree that we're going to go up to 154? You don't have to write a letter. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is we know where Errol Spence want to go. We know where he want to fight, what class is 154. Now, the only reason why people was talking about Gervonta is because at one point, Terrence Crawford fans were saying that it didn't make sense for Terrence Crawford to do a rematch with Errol Spence Jr. So we was like, cool, we don't know what's going on. Maybe he's not going to fight Errol Spence next. Maybe he might have another fight in between the fight between Errol Spence and him. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what him or Errol Spence even talk about. We were just going off of what some of the fans were saying. So we like, if you ain't going to fight fight Errol Spence and you still holding on the belts at 147, then maybe you holding on the belts because you go fight your mandatory, which Terrence Crawford said he always fight his mandatory. And remember, Terrence Crawford fans was telling Errol Spence to fight Gervonta Ennis when Errol Spence was trying to fight Terrence Crawford. So all we saying is we only talking about things that we heard from the Terrence Crawford side or his fans. It's not us coming first. We are coming second. So that's all I got to say.
I have a quick question. Good point, Detail, and good point for you from you too, Band Up. Quick question, because you said you think that Errol Spence should come out, and I guess he should explain what happened. Are you referring to his performance, or are you referring to how he looked different in your opinion, in the ring against Crawford? What do you mean in specific?
Precisely, because from Errol Spence's fan standpoint, and you know what I mean, I told you, you know what I mean, I thought his face looked a little different too. There has to be a reason for why he performed the way he did. And I hear what D-Town was saying, you know what I mean, when he said that was at a time where we didn't know if the rematch was going to be, taking place. But in between that time is still some of the time frame I'm kind of talking about with the Errol and Terrence thing, because we didn't know if Errol was going to initiate that rematch clause. You know what I mean? He might have said he was going to, but we never knew officially. And if we didn't look. If did he do it today? Did he do it the next day? No, he waited all the way to the end, right?
It wasn't no stipulations on when he had to do it. He had a certain time. I forgot the time.
I understand you have a certain. I understand you have a certain time. I understand all that. You know what I mean? I understand you have a certain time, and you know what I mean? But Errol Spence still did it at the back end. What I'm not saying when he did it was a problem. I'm saying the time frame. You know what I mean? Within those couple days or weeks, whenever, because he didn't do it right then. You know what I mean? The next day or whatever, next week. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I'm just saying within the time frame, he could be talking. You know what I mean? There's a time frame where Errol could have talked. Because if Errol would have Errol didn't reiterate this rematch clause, and he fought somebody else, and the reporters are asking him, okay, since you fight somebody else, what happened in your last fight? And he's like, oh, I'm focused on that. I ain't focused on that. I'm focused on this. Like fighters tend to say. No, you still got to answer some questions, left or right.
He wasn't gonna say all that. You know what I mean? Still, we all know Errol Spence Jr. and Errol Spence Jr. don't get down like that. He don't get down like that. Errol Spence said he gonna fight Terrence Crawford next, and if I believe anybody Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, I would believe Errol Spence before I believe Terrence Crawford. So if he said we're gonna run it back, then I would bank on it that he was gonna run it back. And I knew, and I told everybody when everybody was talking about, oh, it's getting close to the date. That Errol Spence, he ain't gonna act. And I told everybody in the video, take your time, relax, because Errol Spence has already done it. We just don't know about it yet, and Terrence Crawford don't know about it. What happened? Soon later, less than a day or two later, they came out and activated. You just gotta relax and chill. That's it.
Hey, and also there's something else that has to be factored in, right? So help me, I'm trying to remember the dates now because all of it goes together. But he had to be cleared first medically before he could even file a petition for the rematch clause. So that had to take some time. So that also played a fact in why he didn't do it immediately. Just wanted to kind of toss that in there since we throwing out details and information. My fault, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was actually going to wait until D-Town finished, DC, but you jumped in. Good stuff, DC. And I was going to say the ringside physician at the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which is, standard in boxing, when a fighter, not you, but when a fighter is knocked out or TKO, they automatically have to go through 30, 60, 90, or 120-day suspension. And I was going to just bring that up. And Spence had to serve a few months of a suspension before, he could actually, I think it was 60 days, if I'm not mistaken, before he can actually participate in sparring, activate the rematch clause or anything. He had to stay basically away from boxing physically. You know what I mean? So that's a good point. Let me get this super chat out real quick. Double salute to Michael D. Stories 87. Mike says Tank just released footage of him knocking out what it looks like Devin Haney or Kevin Johnson in sparring. It's bad. Yes, I made a brief reference about that, Michael, in the very, very preliminary stages of this broadcast, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute as far as Gervonta Tank Davis is concerned. We don't know who that was in sparring. And like I said a few moments ago, Mike, and I'll say it again for the new viewership oh my gosh, the viewership is increasing exponentially. We don't know who that was, but we also don't know when that sparring footage was recorded. I mean, this is social media. You can record something 5 years ago and then put it out now and still look a little bit the same as far as who you are and how you look. And people can think that, hey, this is how you are in live time, or this is how you look in live time, and this is what happened. When in actuality, you can put up a video or a picture from 5 years ago. So we don't know when that that footage was actually recorded. Double salute to Two Cents Boxing for gifting someone a membership. Thank you, Two Cents Boxing. This is the second or third time you did that, and I really, really, appreciate that. And the bottom line is Errol Spence is returning. He's said to be in training camp now. He's back getting acclimated to training again in the gym. He activated the rematch clause. DC Jeroy, Errol Spence is returning. What is your take on Errol Spence and what's happening to him psychologically as he took a big loss in July?
I think Earl. Well, first of all, Earl has always presented himself to be a stand-up guy, right? That's one of the reasons why I can appreciate the brother, even aside from boxing. Whenever a man tell you what he's going to do and do it, I got a great deal of respect and appreciation for that because we don't see that often days, especially in boxing. So let me just put that out there. As far as the psychological aspect, I think Earl is built for it tough. I mean, he said it at the end of the fight, so this is what it feels like. So, of course, when you're used to being, they call it the alpha or the apex, there's some mental anguish that I'm sure he had to go through, right? He had a reality check for a lot of reasons, right? There's some talks about he was injured, rib injury and things of that nature. Earl is never really, I don't suspect he ever gonna come out and give you any of those details as true or false as they are, because that just doesn't seem like that's the type of cat that he is. But I'm sure that he's gone through the psychological ringer to make sure, ask all kind of questions. Man, what could I done different? I'm sure he's questioning himself. I happen to believe that there were some things that Earl did to put himself in a situation where he was at a disadvantage. We talked about those things on your show, right? You fight your whole career to become the A side. Then when you get in the A side, it's all about having a psychological advantage. So when you get that up, willingly like he did, just as an example, you put yourself at a disadvantage. So I'm sure he's sitting around questioning and rethinking a lot of things that he did psychologically from leading up to the fight all the way through the fight. But like I said, I think Earl is for tough. I think he has the mental capacity to be able to come back from what took place, regroup, and come out with a better performance than we saw. I know he didn't like the way things went down, and so when you have a cat that's like that, you can appreciate him. You can appreciate his mental recovery and forfeiture. So I think the brother will come back ready and with a better performance. I do agree that there are some things that he definitely need to tune up for us to see skill wise a different type of performance, and I'm thinking that he will also address those. But psychologically, I think the brother has gone through what he needed to, which is why he's back in the gym now. And I think his mind has been repaired, and so now he's ready to get back to work and get focused on putting out work in.
Oh, here's a question that I have for both of you guys. Band Up probably was in a bad spot. Derek James. We keep hearing circulations that circulated on social media that Derek James got fired. Then all of a sudden, Derek James comes out in an interview months ago and says, "Don't listen to false narratives and rumors." Then we hear he gets fired again. We see him working with Ryan Garcia. Of course, we already knew that already. In your opinion, DC Jeroy, D-Town Boxing, do you think that Errol Spence Jr. needs to find a new trainer since this was his first loss, and even Derrick James is trying to, basically make the adjustments moving forward on when they get in the rematch, doing some different things and working on some different things. Do y'all think that this is time for Derrick James to be fired or fall? We've seen it, and the reason why I'm asking that, let me be clear on something. This is what people are saying. And when you look at Deontay Wilder, when he took a devastating loss in his first loss against Tyson Fury, the first thing that he did publicly, he fired one of his trainers, Mark Breland, multiple world champion, outstanding amateur, and that's what he did. And so, is this a situation where Errol Spence got into his first loss? He lost in devastating fashion. Should he fire Derrick James?
So to answer your question, no, I don't think it's time where he need to fire Derrick James. I don't think that's what needs to happen. I think what needs to happen is one, there's an aspect of humility that I think Derrick James and Earl both need to subscribe to, right? So one of the things that disturbed me that I heard Derrick James talking about before the fight is he don't watch film, right? So you can kind of take that for what it's worth. I played all sports: basketball, football, baseball, track. I played every sport out there. And if you're not watching film to understand what your opponent is about, I assume you're taking the most arrogant position that you can take in whatever that sport is. And so what I hope to be the case is, for the sake of both of them, this opportunity, now you've been knocked off the hill, right? You've been knocked off your square. And so now you got to go back to the drawing board and say, well, damn, how did I get here? How did I find myself? What was the path? And Derrick James has to be, because he's the older and the older one and the oldest one in the room, he got to be that guy to say, man, you know what? Let me do some things that are outside of my areas of comfort, right? And so if he possesses the ability to look at and be self-critical in that way, I think Derrick James will be fine, because then he can, that's being self-critical means that you identifying the areas where you need to improve so you can be a better product for your customer. Earl is his customer. And so having the ability to be self-critical and make those adjustments, I think that's what Derrick needs. I don't think he needs to be fired. I still think Derrick James is a really good coach. I think he has some great qualities. There's some areas where I think he needs to expand his horizon. I heard you all, I think on another one of your sessions was talking about the footwork.
Yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went and looked at I forgot who he was fighting. I went and looked at Derrick James' fight from back when he was fighting and checked out one of those. It's a couple more that I'm gonna check out, but he wasn't known for superior footwork himself, right? And so you have to ask that question: Can you expect me to teach you something that I might not be that good at? Maybe you can, right? Maybe I know that's a weakness, and I work on it so I can become better at it and then become a better teacher. But I just think you need to work on some of those, being humble, right? Being critical of yourself. And then those two things will help identify the areas where he need to, become strong. And then him and Errol can work on those things. But no, I don't think you need to be fired. One last thing, as far as Deontay Wilder, that was an interesting move that he made after that first Fury fight, because interesting enough, what was coming out of that camp was that he wasn't listening, right? And so I always kind of wondered what really happened there, right? And so maybe we never know, but we know when Earl was fighting Bud, whether they had practiced what Derrick James was telling him in the fight or not. Maybe they hadn't, but there were some things that Derrick was advising Earl to do, and it just didn't seem like he could be as responsive. Maybe it was the physical aspect, the fatigue, mental, what have you. But so there's always that level of accountability, and I think Earl is that guy who would say, you know what, our coach was doing, asked me to do such and such, and maybe I didn't perform or do what he was asking me to do. So I think they straight.
All right, D-Town. I mean, you heard DC Jeroy. Most people who started this narrative and rumor say that Derrick James need to be fired, and Errol Spence should fire him, just like Deontay Wilder fired Mark Breland after his first loss. What's your take on that, D-Town?
Well, I think Mark Breland wasn't the head coach. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe he was the head coach. But then you have Derrick James is the head coach, and Derrick James know Errol Spence. And when you get up in your career, I don't think that you should be messing with, you know what I'm saying, the main coach. You know what I'm saying? You got assistant coaches and all this different things, but a lot of experience. So this is the reason why some stuff is on.
Yeah, I just muted. That was banned up.
Okay, but some of the experience that we have come from failure or come from loss, and from us bouncing back and coming harder. And I believe that Errol Spence is one of those guys, and Derrick James is one of those guys that will go back and look at and see what happened, you know, and correct those things. And it's a lot of things that played a part in that fight, you know what I'm saying, far as the lead up to the fight, what happened in training camp, you know, things on both sides. So it's a lot of things. It's not like Errol Spence was 100% or whatever the case might be. You know, as far as the videos we heard that it was certain things that happened in training camp, same thing with Blu-ray said that some things happened, whatever the case might be. But I believe, it's just my opinion, that they will go back. They would, and just like DC said, that they will go. Derrick James will look at the tapes, because I know Terrence Crawford and them been studying Errol Spence. I don't believe that Derrick James and them was studying Terrence Crawford like Terrence Crawford and them was studying Errol Spence. But if we could get Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford both 100%, I believe that we would have a great fight. And I know that Errol Spence have a dog in him. I mean, Errol Spence was getting knocked down and was getting right back up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford was trying to kill him or whatever, but I know Terrence Crawford was trying to handle his business, and Errol Spence was showing heart. But if you could put that locomotive behind that heart, you could get a decent fight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they need to fire Derrick James. I believe that they just need to go to the drawing board, see what happened in the training camp. Derrick James can see what happened on his side. Errol Spence can see what happened on his side. Put something together, put something with something, and let's go get something. And I think that's what we go get in that second fight.
All right, before we move on, let me salute my guy, another member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew, Big Money. Big Money Walt is in the building. Band up before we move on to our next topic. Real quick, do you think that Errol Spence should fire Derrick James?
If you would have asked me that a few months ago, I would have said yeah. But I don't know. I've been, you know what I mean, I've been learning stuff, you know what I mean, for a while, you know what I mean, learning things as I go. I don't think so, because Derrick James has been with Errol for so long. And at this point in Errol's career, that's not a good thing to, you know what I mean, switch up somebody that knows you for so long. As far as that Bud fight in particular, I never believed that Derrick James was giving Terrence Crawford true respect at all. So I didn't think that Errol was going to give Terrence respect. And it kind of played out like that way in a little bit in the fight. So I don't know if you want to switch up for that fight or have somebody else in there for that next going fight. But if you got somebody in there that seen Bud Crawford and was like, this ain't nothing but athleticism, like Derek James kept trying to say, ain't nothing but athleticism. And you know what I mean? How he's moving around, you know what I mean? Nah, bruh. If you got somebody that believes that, he's not going to be able to teach you against that because he doesn't believe in Terrence Crawford's power. You know what I mean? Skills. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep, I get you. I don't think that Derek James didn't respect Crawford's skill set. I think Derek James used to be a professional fighter. He know the skill set of Bud. He know. But so basically, DC, you was gonna say something, DC?
I wanted to ask Band Up a question real quick. When you said if he had asked you that a couple of months ago, you would have said yes. How far back a couple of months ago? Before the fight or after the fight? When you said a couple of months ago. That's the
Could you
Band Up.
About what?
You said
No.
afterwards.
When I said what? Right after the fight. I thought I was like, yeah, because it kind of go hand in hand with what I said. I didn't believe that Derek, you know what I mean, gave him respect. So I'm like, if this guy ain't gonna give Bud respect and teach you something against what Bud is doing, then yeah, he needs to switch it up. But over time, I learned, that you ain't really supposed to change up somebody that's been with you from the jump. I mean, it's kind of go hand in hand with almost any sport. But yeah, I didn't know he'd been with him his entire career. I learned that, I learned that after the fight.
Gotcha.
Okay, I respect that. Just curious.
Gotcha.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right, so let's talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, people's talking about this leak sparring. Everybody's talking about this leak sparring. I mean, I got an issue with cameras banning sparring. Me personally, that's just me talking from a boxing manager's perspective, because we don't want anybody to have any footage involuntarily against fighters, that's sparring in that gym. So I'm against cell phones and all that when sparring is taking place. Now, if it's between fighters that don't have a fight coming up and they just getting in there just to have fun and just rumble each other, and somebody want to record it, whatever. But you training for a fight as a professional boxer, whether it's day one or whether it's week 6 in training camp, I don't do the cell phone and video recording sparring. That's just my take for my fighters or anybody I represent. I don't, because anybody can come back and watch that tape and study you, and they're watching you pull out your tricks of the trade. It's almost like Belichick, when he sent out spies to secretly record the opposing teams that he was going to play on the schedule to steal their hand signals on defense, et cetera, et cetera. The Spygate they talk about. So I don't recommend it in boxing when we talking about real live sparring. I'm not talking about two fighters getting there, touching each other up, getting some work. Nobody don't have a fight coming up. We're just trying to stay sharp. That's something different. But in training camp, we're not doing that. So I don't know when that footage was recorded of Tank Davis. There was no date stamped on there, so I don't know. But besides all of that, because that's propaganda anyway, I don't think it was Devin Haney in that ring. Looking at how the other fighter was competing with, I'm talking about styles. We know Devin Haney's style. I don't think that was Devin Haney. But even if it was, what difference does it make? We want Devin Haney to fight Tank Davis now in a real boxing match, not no more sparring. Because Tank Davis and Devin Haney sparred years ago, a long time ago. Just like Tank Davis is on record in an interview saying that he sparred Shakur Stevenson when Shakur Stevenson was younger than what he is now. But we don't want to see no sparring. So I don't want to waste time talking about a sparring session that was leaked. And I don't want to talk about, I want to talk about Tank fighting in that ring against one of these guys who people claiming that was done in that sparring session. Like Gervonta Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. Like Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. You know, if Regis Prograis win this fight, he get in there with Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney can get in there with Ryan Garcia. We want to see these guys fighting a real fight is what I'm saying. And not talking about a sparring footage leakage. Now I want to ask y'all a question. Right now, we see the landscape of the 135-pound division. We see the landscape of the 140-pound division, where Tank Davis, he can stay at 35, be at a catch weight like Ryan Garcia and him was, and like Ryan Garcia's last fight, or he can be a solid 140. In your opinion, D-Town, what's next for Gervonta Tank Davis? Of course, we know he's going to be fighting in 2024. Who you got him fighting? Give us a couple names.
I think what he's doing is he's watching to see what these guys are doing, see who win and who lose. And after that, he's trying to see how much money he can make off certain fighters. So I think that he wants this next fight to be a big fight. And I think he wants to see who win and who lose in these matches, how they look. You know what I'm saying? Who look a little weaker, who look a little stronger. You know, see what they got going on. I think that I think he want to fight the best. He want to fight the best. But I think that he's going to, like they say, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So I think he's going to weigh his options. Like this guy's a big high risk, but it's not a lot of money with that one. This guy's a little bit lower, you know what I'm saying? And if I look at the money, maybe I'm ready for that right now. And then later I could get the other guy that's way, you know, that's a higher risk. I could get him later. So I think they're trying to weigh the options, but I do think that he want all the smoke. You know what I'm saying? But he's probably watching to see who lose. You know what I'm saying? Who win? How this dude look? How that dude look? You know what? That'll make more sense. That'll make more sense. So I think that he want all the smoke. I just think they taking their time and they just gonna pick, you know, who's next. They don't have to go for the gusto, you know, right now. You know what I'm saying? They could get that later down the line. But he want everything to make sense for his money and for his the risk also. And I think that's what they juggling right now.
Got you. Well, Tank Davis was in an interview right after the Ryan Garcia fight, and I want to play a few excerpts where he was asked those specific names, like you just brought up certain names. And this is what Tank was basically saying who he wanted to fight. This is him. Hold up 1 second. Hold up.
Realistically, how much longer do you see yourself being a fighter? How many more years you think?
It depends. I got some people I want to get.
Haney?
Yes.
Lomachenko?
Yes.
Tiafimo?
Yes.
Kambosos? No. Is there anyone I'm missing, or is that it?
Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Shakur?
Yeah.
So realistically, how much longer do you see yourself being a fighter? How many more years you think?
It depends. I got some people I want to get.
Haney?
Yes.
Lomachenko?
Yes.
Tiafimo?
Yes.
Kambosos? No. Is there anyone I'm missing, or is that it?
Yeah, but I don't want to say his name.
Shakur?
Yeah.
So y'all heard that that was Tank Davis. You know, he was asked about Devin Haney. He said, yeah. You know, he was asked about Lomachenko. He said, yeah. He was asked about Kambosos. He was like, nah. He was asked about Shakur Stevenson. He said, yeah. DC Giroid. Sound like some big names. He was asked about Teofimo Lopez. He said, yeah. Which one of those guys is next? What you think, DC?
That's a tough question, man. I mean, that's a serious hit list. Um, so I think the one that makes probably the most sense because he's at 135 with him is Shakur, right? If he's not interested in Cam Bosa, I mean, you got. I don't know if I want to see Loma and Tank, to be honest. I'm not. That's the least. That's the fight that I'm least excited about out of all of the names. And then I've also heard Tank say he was staying at 135 and wasn't messing around with 140. So that means I don't have Devin coming down to 135. I don't have that. I don't even know if T.O. coming down to 135. And I don't even got them guys doing the catch weight, right? Because I don't think Devin really want that smoke with Tank. So that become a easy out for him. You know what I mean, man? If you're not coming to 140, then you ain't trying to fight me. So I think that becomes one of those opportunities for him to kind of control the narrative. So I think the one that makes the most sense and that everybody want to see is Shakur. So but looking at Shakur's last fight, man, I'm starting to side eye Shakur a little bit, man. So I'm curious how that fight will really turn out and if I'm really excited to see that. So, but to answer your question, I think what's next reasonably will be Shakur.
I would have to say, I wouldn't say Shakur, in my personal opinion, in my assessment, as a business guy, I wouldn't say Shakur because right now, Shakur Stevenson can't draw fans with a pen and a pad. You know what I mean? so, so I'm talking about with regards to the status of a Tank Davis. Now he probably can draw a crowd with somebody like, excuse me, De Los Santos, somebody he just fought in the T-Mobile Arena, by the way. That's who he just fought there at the T-Mobile Arena. But to fight a Tank Davis in that same venue, Tank Davis is going to have to carry that entire promotion. And if I'm Bob Arum, we good. We trying to build up this young man. We good. We good. We all the way good. Especially the last performance where it looked like Shakur Stevenson felt a little bit of that power and he ain't really want to engage. He didn't want to deal with the realities of we in this fight together. And so if he get in there with Tank, if he can't take De Los Santos' power, he ain't gonna be able to take no Tank Davis power. And I'm not saying he can't take De Los Santos' power. I'm just saying the way that he reacted, in my opinion, nah, bruh.
I don't see a big fight for Tank Davis right now. I mean, as far as the people that we looking at, I don't see nobody at 140 that's willing to fight Tank Davis. They might say it, you know what I'm saying? It might even come down to, hey, I need more money. You know what I'm saying? It's different things or scenarios you can look at. And I think that behind the scenes they trying to figure out what's the best opponent and also far as money wise. Like you were saying, Manager Marty, that they trying to figure out who can sell or help sell. You know what I'm saying? Also, how much money, how much they want, how much you want. They looking at a lot of things in the back. And I mean, me personally, I don't see nobody right now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who? Cruz? I mean, I don't care about. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I was gonna bring his name up, and now you segue into it. So now I am from a business standpoint, and I know the fans of boxing will not agree with me. You two guys may not agree with me. From the business perspective, Isaac Cruz is the best potential opponent for Tank Davis. And the reasons why I say that is for promotionary reasons first. It's easy to sell this fight to a casual fan. Now, of course, it's going to be a little bit harder to sell it to us hardcore fans, but to a casual boxing fan, it'll be easier to galvanize them to buy this fight. Why? Because the promotion can say, hey, listen, through advertisement, Tank Davis has all of these knockouts and only 2 opponents, to my understanding, did not get knocked out by him, and one of them is Isaac Cruz. He never got knocked down or knocked out when they fought the first time. The second way that they can promote and advertise this is that, hey, Isaac Cruz was a last-minute replacement. We called him within like 2 weeks' notice or something, and he performed very well to some people's liking because nobody saw Tank Davis being backed up so many times in the fight. Where Isaac Cruz, his name, Pitbull, he lived up to that name, applying that pressure on Tank from round 1 all the way to round 12. The third way that they can advertise this fight is Tank Davis had a hand injury. So if Tank Davis is able to do that to Isaac with one hand, imagine if he had both hands, he can knock this guy out. And the fourth and the final and most important way that they can promote this fight to generate the biggest revenue is that Isaac Cruz has an entire country behind him. Whereas though if you look at the blueprint of Tank Davis's resume, I've said this about Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Adrian Broner, and Terrence Crawford. All 4 of those fighters have one thing in common. You never heard that nowhere else except for here, and that is they don't have a history of fighting and competing against African-American black fighters. Their biggest paydays are against fighters from other countries. Why? Because it sells, it sells, it sells. And when they have a whole country behind them, like I always say, it don't matter if these fighters got 20 wins and 40 losses. Their country support them like they world champions. They buy the pay-per-views. They fly all the way over here to America. They go across the pond if they're not already there. They support their fighters no matter how many wins and losses they have on their record. In contrast to American fan base is if you got 1 loss on your record, man, next. We don't want to see that fight anymore. We writing them off. I'm just saying from the American boxing culture as far as fan base. So those are the 4 reasons I say would be a great promotional opportunity for them to sell the Isaac Cruz fight for Tank Davis.
I think it's one more also.
Okay.
Cruz could say that he didn't have a full training camp for Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because since he was a last-minute replacement, you know, he was training, but who was he training for? You know, he didn't know if he was going to get Tank Davis or somebody else, so he was training. So the same way as it was a late replacement for Tank Davis, it was, I guess, a replacement for Pitbull Cruz too. So he could say, look, if I go ahead and we make this fight, I can have a full training camp focused on you, Tank Davis, and you can say Tank Davis can say the same thing, that I can have a full training camp for you. You know, and then you can be like Pitbull Cruz, he gonna go in there and knock out Tank Davis. He gonna apply that pressure, and you can say Tank Davis gonna have both his hands, and he gonna knock out Pitbull Cruz. So I think, you know, that's all I see is him, man. I don't see nobody else. Yeah, you know, for the fight that he can make.
Right now, think about promotion. Now I got to put my manager's hat on. Look at how PBC is trying to get Pitbull Cruz in your psyche as a fan. I mean, he's been on several undercards being exposed to pay-per-view audiences, including the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. And so this is showing the people, look at this guy, Cruz. I mean, he's winning fights. He's in tough fights. You know, we're exposing him to the paying audience, not just the regular broadcast, the paying audience through the pay-per-view arm. And he's looking good. Now, in his last fight, that fight could have went either way because that young guy he landed some big shots on Cruz and outboxed Isaac Cruz. But at the end of the day, Isak Cruz, he came out with the win. And so that's another way that, the promotion can come out and sell this fight to, like I said, the casual fans. And I think it will sell. I do believe it will sell. Now, if Devin Haney goes in there and he looks good against Regis, that fight will sell a little bit more. In fact, that fight will sell better than any of the other opponents, except for Teofimo Lopez. But once again, Teofimo's at 140, Devin Haney's at 140. And if Tank, this is just my personal opinion. If Tank Davis announced that he's moving to 140 today, I have a strong feeling, DC Giroy and D-Town Boxing, that Bill Haney is going to go back on record and say, Keith Thurman, answer the phone. We coming up to 47, like I told y'all last week in that interview. Mario Barrios, answer the phone. Like I told y'all in the interview last week, we coming up to 47. That's just what I think, DC. You know what I mean?
They done already planted that seed, man. They done already planted that seed. But nah, I mean, Devin don't want that smoke. But let me ask you this, Manager Marty. You don't think from a business aspect, I thought it would be a good move, Tank versus Tio from a business standpoint. No, you don't think so?
Yes. I'm saying after Isak. So Isak Cruz, number one from a business standpoint, and then Teofimo Lopez, and then Devin Haney. That's what I was trying to say. Because remember, Teofimo can sell tickets out there in New York. I mean, he's got a huge fan base out there with the Hispanic community, the Latinos, you know what I mean? And Tio got a mouth on him. His dad got a little mouth on him. Can you imagine the press conference with Tank Davis, Calvin Ford, Teofimo, and his dad in the press conference, them four guys talking crazy, talking spicy? Woo! They gonna sell. But it's not going to generate more money than Isak, because Isak has been in the public's eye on pay-per-view undercards, so the public is used to seeing him, over and over again. But at the same time, when you look at the money, no disrespect to Isak, but you can tell Isak, look, we'll pay you. I'm just being facetious. We'll pay you $20,000 to fight Tank. You can't tell no Teofimo Lopez you're gonna pay him no $20,000 to fight no Tank. So you can save a whole bunch of money on your car insurance as a promoter if you go to Isak Cruz route first. You know what I mean?
I think you look at the styles too, styles of fighting that people want to see that dog fight. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to see that mouse, that back and forward. You know what I'm saying? That Muhammad Ali. They want to see that dog fight in the middle, and they know Tank will bring it, and they know Pitbull Cruz go bring it, and they also know Teofimo Lopez is gonna bring it. You know what I'm saying? So people are looking for that excitement from these guys. So I think that would be the best route, for him to go, is for Pitbull Cruz, then Teofimo Lopez, if Tank Davis or Teofimo Lopez decide to do catch weight, or Teofimo. I don't think Teofimo will come down. I don't know. Maybe he will for that money. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we know that Tank is the A side, so he calls a shot. So if he say I move up, or I'm gonna stay down here, or I do catch weight, that's what that is. But them the people that I can see. I don't see no Shakur Stevenson. I don't see no Devin Haney in them, them fighting Tank Davis right now. I don't see even another Ryan Garcia fight. I don't see that right now. So I think that route will be the route that Tank Davis will go. And that's why I think that he's just paying attention and eyeing the landscape to see which route that he's going to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree that nobody wants to see a Ryan Garcia rematch with Tank Davis. That's out the door. That's not going to happen. If anything, Ryan Garcia, he's at 140. I don't want to see him fight Teofimo Lopez because his footwork is not improved yet. And you need to have your feet on deck when you fight an aggressive guy like Teofimo. But like I said, he does deserve a crack at the title, even if it's at 140. If Devin Haney or Regis, either one of them One of them got to win this fight. Hey, fight Ryan. It's a big money fight for both of those guys. Ryan is a cash cow when you look at him, comparing him to like a Devin Haney or a Regis. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia sells more tickets than those guys. This thing about boxing is the sport, but it's also the business. And this is why, I'm grateful that I'm able to provide that perspective, the business perspective on YouTube, because a lot of people don't understand the dynamics involved in putting these fights together. It's not like we don't want to see the best fight the best, but it has to make some kind of business sense when you got managers, boxing promoters, and networks investing money, and they have to recoup their initial investment and then start making a profit. So it has to just make business sense. So and guess what? Like I just said about Devin Haney's resume, he don't fight a lot of African Americans anyway. So him fighting Ryan Garcia is right up his alleyway. That's good business. It's always going to be good business when you got black or African American versus Mexican and or Puerto Rican or Hispanic in general, or Argentine or Philippine. It don't make no difference. As long as the fighter, or England, as long as the fighter is not from America, you can really, really make some big money. Both fighters, everybody involved, they can make some big money in those type of environments.
I seen something. I don't know how true it is, but I seen something was saying something about that Teofimo Lopez turned down $1.5 million to fight Ryan Garcia. I don't know how true it is, but I did see an article or something on Facebook that they were saying. Usually, when I see this post from this person, usually is right around the ballpark. But like I said, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I saw. But there was somebody had said this. So I don't know how true it is.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard it or seen it. I gotta put this on the screen. 26 Boxing, member of the channel. You see that detail? She said, Manager Marty, Devin is not fighting Ryan. He's too young. Devin is the senior citizen slayer. That's 26 Boxing. She's basically saying he only fight guys older than him. Well, once again, he's in the fight with Regis. And we know Regis is in his 30s. He's been in there with those guys that's in their 30s. Most of the last couple of people that Devin Haney fought, with the exception of Jojo Diaz, has been in their 30s. Jojo, if he's not 30 yet, Jojo's probably like 31. I'm about to pull him up too. And this is all strategy. This is all strategy when we look at how Devin Haney is being promoted. It's all strategy. That's done on purpose. It's done intentionally, to basically, okay, somebody said that JoJo's 30. I stand corrected. To illustrate 26 Boxing's point, that's the bottom line. I mean, it's all about having strategy when we talk about promoting and managing fights and fighters. And so when you look at, Devin Haney, yes, of course, that's done on purpose. I mean, look at what happened. Let's keep it all the way 100. Bill Haney was at the fight when Regis Prograis fought his last fight. This is after the Lomachenko fight, when they both said, they meaning Devin and Bill, they both were saying they don't mind fighting Tank Davis after he fight Ryan Garcia. And then they were criticizing him, particularly Bill Haney was criticizing him on record, saying that they can fight and get Lomachenko out the way. He said the same thing about Shakur Stevenson. We can see if Lomachenko can step to the side and we'll fight either one of y'all. But detail, when we linked up in person, you and I already gave y'all the blueprint. You know what I mean? When I said when they signed that 3-fight deal, they knew exactly who they were going to fight anyway. So to pretend that Tank's next and Shakur is next, y'all knew y'all was fighting Loma, just like when you went over there to move up to 140 to fight Regis. Y'all knew y'all were going to do that. And the reason why I say that is because at the press conference, post-fight press conference, when Devin Haney was asked at the Lomachenko post-fight press conference, is Tank Davis next? What's next for y'all? And they were saying, well, we might, I'm not sure we're going to move up. I'm going to go to my team. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to see what we want to do. And the words move up came out of their mouth. So they already knew they was going up to 140. And if it's promotion, why they using Tank name? If it's promotion, why they're using Shakur's name, then so be it. But you know me, detail. I don't have no picks. What's right is right and what's wrong. We call it right down the middle. And I said this about Terrence Bud Crawford being on the snack program. And it applies to everybody else. When you open your mouth and you say something, you guys stand on it. As a man, you guys stand on it. If Terrence Crawford goes to the snack program and people are highly suspicious of him, then you need to stand on it. This is what come with that. You can't come back and complain and say, man, I'm juicing now. Why everybody hating? No. You went over there. You didn't call Larry Wade up. Strength and conditioning coach. You didn't call Blu-ray up. Strength and conditioning coach. I don't know all the strength and conditioning coaches in the game, but you didn't call certain strength and conditioning coaches is what I'm saying. You went and you specifically sought out Victor Conte. So stand on that. And that's the same thing. You know, no disrespect to Bill Haney and Devin. I like them, but we got to keep it all the way 100. If y'all say y'all going to fight Tank Davis, you guys stand on that. You say you're going to fight Shakur, you guys stand on that. If Shakur say he want to fight Devin Haney, Shakur, he got to stand on that. If Tank say he going to fight Devin, like we just heard him say in the interview just now, all them guys Tank said he willing to fight, guys stand on that. That's just how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? YSM Sports Media, double salute to you, my guy. What's going on with you, man?
What's good, Marty? What's good, D-Town? I agree with what you're saying. They all got to stand on it, and they all do the same shit, right? They all, whenever one of them got a fight lined up, they always talking about the person to be next, knowing damn well that those fights haven't even fully matured yet. Marty, you in the back rooms, you understand the business. And the business states that we're only going to make a move on a fight when its growth has reached the ceiling, when we know we're going to make the most amount of money possible. Because I remember Tank, when Devin's about to fight George Kambosos, he like, okay, you fight your guy and I fight my guy and we're going to fight next. Knowing damn well Ryan Garcia was next. You had that Ryan Garcia deal done. So they all use each other to promote like the fight that they have currently, because those are the fights we want to see. We want to see those three go at it. So yeah, they all guilty.
And the thing about it is, it's one of the oldest promotional tricks in the book. I mean, look at how, if anybody don't understand what I'm saying, let's use, and they all do it. You're right. Let's use Bob Arum and Top Rank. They knew good and well that Floyd Mayweather kept telling Pacquiao, you can fight me. I can fight you. We can get it on. But you know what you're going to have to do, Mr. Manny Pacquiao? You're going to have to go get that blood and urine, random Olympic-style drug testing first. They knew that. And guess what Bob Arum and Pacquiao kept doing? Yeah, after this fight, we want Floyd Mayweather. You know you about to fight Margarito. Yeah, but after that fight, then he fight Margarito with Joshua Clottey. When we get finished with him, we want Floyd Mayweather. They did that for 5 years and still didn't take the test. So by the time they really fought, it was kind of past their prime to some people's liking. But guess whose prime it wasn't past? It wasn't past the business's prime. Yes, it was past Floyd Mayweather's prime, being older. Yes, it was past Pacquiao's prime, being older. Yes, it was past the fan base's prime, being older. But it wasn't past the business's prime, because the business generated what? Upward of almost 200 million. That's good business. It took 5 years, but it's good business. And so, hey, it's the oldest trick in the book. We use YSM. I'm not even a boxer, brother. And people still try to use my name to promote their little itty bitty channels.
Yo. I knew he was going to. I ain't
gonna say that young boy named the boy from. I ain't even gonna give no clout. I know you got mad at me, bro. I'm gonna leave it alone. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even remember his channel name, but
I don't know his channel name either. I forgot it actually.
I'm gonna say this with that though. My platform is built on the experts, right? I don't fight, I don't box, I don't train, I don't manage, and I don't promote, right? So I'm going to interview all the people that do those things. If I'm interviewing a football for football, I'm going to interview everybody that's involved. I'm not involved. I'm a journalist, right? So I'm not going to make my platform about me, and I damn sure ain't going to make my platform about somebody that's reporting on me. I don't do the back and forth shit. People don't come to YSM for that. They come to YSM to hear the experts talk, not for me to beef with a channel and go back and forth. So if he want to constantly use your name, my name, this person's name, that person's name, the biggest shit up, have at it, bro. Because motherfuckers, they come to me for the real. And if you ain't really doing this, you ain't really fighting, really training, really managing fighters, advising fighters, promoting fighters, then you ain't gonna be on my shit. It's that simple.
Facts. Hey, why I got you up here, Wyatt? Some quick question. What's next, or who's next for Gervonta Tank Davis? Who's next for him?
Isaac Cruz, if I had to educate a guess based off of what I've been hearing from that little circle, Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, I was just breaking down the
which
business.
They've known for a while. But I do think that Devin Haney might be after that.
Yeah,
you ain't fighting two southpaws in a row for no reason, Marty.
Hey, that's not. Hey, it's called practice. It's called practice. And here's the thing. That's another oldest trick in the book when it comes to promotion. Get in there with this person. Let me see how you respond to a southpaw. Then you fight another southpaw again. Oh, of course. We already see we see what's going on. Absolutely. But
which is a bigger fight?
Of course. I was just breaking it down to the audience before you got on here that Eastside Cruz is basically the biggest fight for Tank Davis compared to all of the other guys.
Wait, compared to who?
Well, we're talking Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, all of you name anybody else, they're not gonna out generate I'm talking about ticket sales, live gate, all of the whole nine over no Eastside Cruz. None of them.
I disagree.
Teofimo is next after Eastside Cruz, but remember, we're talking about already having the appeal to the audience. Eastside Cruz had been on several undercards of pay-per-views, even after headlining his own through a loss after fighting Tank. That's done intentionally as well, right? Just like we talked about fighting southpaws in consecutive fights. That's done intentionally as well. So when you look at Eastside Cruz being from a whole entire country, and he's a big ticket seller. Eastside Cruz. This is why he's being promoted the way he is, as he should be. But when you look at a Teofimo Lopez is a good ticket seller as well, and he's a big talker. Him and his dad, make no mistake about it. But you only can put a Teofimo Lopez somewhere like where he's been at in New York, very heavily populated with a Hispanic community. But we have to see how Teofimo Lopez is gonna look in Vegas, like we did Eastside Cruz. Eastside been around, bro. That's what I'm saying. Compared to taking a Teofimo Lopez out of the East Coast atmosphere. You know what I mean? That's just my observation from a business perspective.
Yeah, I disagree in the sense of, all right, so a lazy narrative that all of us sometimes use is that when a fighter comes from a different country, we just assume that he'll sell better than a fighter that comes from the same country that the other fighters in. The reality is, if Eastside Cruz was such a big ticket seller, then he would be headlining his own fights, in which he's not. He's an undercard fighter. Now, does he get love from Mexicans, of course. But is it the love that Ryan Garcia is getting, or other Mexicans that are headlining? Like, think about this: Virgil Ortiz headlines his own events. Isaac Cruz doesn't. So this is a fight that we've already seen. It didn't really do great on pay-per-view the first time. I don't know why we're going to think that it's going to do better the second time, being that we already saw Gervonta Davis beat him convincingly with one hand. So I'm inclined to say, because of bad blood, and Devin Haney's been introduced to that pay-per-view audience in my Marty voice, headlining, not undercard, but headlining. I'm gonna say in order: Devin, T.O., Isaac, and now Shakur, because of the performance that he just put on.
We haven't seen. Okay, let's put this in proper perspective. From a business perspective, Isaac Cruz has fought in front of tens of thousands of people several times, undercard or not.
Yes.
Devin Haney has not. He
Yes,
fought Lomachenko, MGM Grand, right?
Yes.
6,000 people, somewhere around there, from what I was told.
Let's pull the numbers up. We a numbers guy. I can't be what you told. Let's pull the numbers up. And wait, who did they come to see?
They came to see who?
They came to see Devin Haney versus. Wait. They came to a detail. I want you to smile with this. They came to see Devin Haney and Lomachenko, and with Isaac Cruz, they came to see Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Right, but let's keep it 100. Even you know this YSM. Devin Haney ain't outselling no Lomachenko, bro. And we all know that.
You're comparing, but you're comparing. Well, I can't even say that because Lomachenko, he fights in the Hulu Theater.
Okay.
Hulu Theater holds 5,500.
Okay.
But as far as that's the equivalent of what you're telling me is that I can take credit. Like if I'm the opening act, can I take credit for what Beyonce's gate is? People came to see Beyonce. I'm the opening act.
No. What I'm trying to say, YSM, is you got to have the right dance partner. That's really where I'm getting at. I know everybody came to see Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. What I'm saying is that the promotion has constantly made an appeal to the audience, the paying audience, by putting Isaac Cruz on the undercard in different pay-per-views time and time again. That's how you get the audience to say, you know what, we've seen him fight 3-4 times on undercards on pay-per-view. We get entertainment value. So now we're going to pay when he headlines his own card. That's Marty, all I'm basically saying.
I know, but that's a if. His management is putting him in a position to be a star, but we haven't seen actual physical proof in that he's a star because he's not headlining his own events.
I never said he was a star. I'm saying that they will generate way more money fighting each other, Isaac Cruz and Devin Haney. Isaac Cruz and Tank Davis, opposed to a Devin Haney and a Tank Davis. And I have to put this in there because this is as equally as important. When you look at the American fan base, all of us Americans know how the culture of American boxing fans are. When you got American fighters fighting each other, especially when they're undefeated, as soon as one fighter loses and have one loss on their record, this is just the culture of American boxing fan base. They ostracize that fighter and say, on to the next one. Okay, that fighter lost. They got one loss on their record or two losses on their record. And next thing you know, some of the boxing community in America say, oh, I'm off him. We on to somebody else. And that's the difference between a fighter who has an entire country on their back opposed to the American fan base. Because when you have a fighter who has a country on his or her back, they basically will support their fighter, whether the fighter has 20 losses out of 40 wins or 20 wins out of 40 losses. They still fly out of their country, come to America, across the pond, and everywhere else. They buy the pay-per-view. They support their fighter, win, lose, or draw. And that's just the difference of the cultures. And the business of boxing understands that. And that's why if you look at the resume of Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, Adrian Broner, and Tank Davis, you can't find too many Black American or African American fighters on their resume for the reason that I'm saying. Or at least one of the reasons.
Wait. I understand what you're saying, but I feel like you're being completely short-sighted in the sense of there's no proof that Isaac Cruz versus Tank will do well. It didn't do well the first time, right? But
remember, they didn't promote that.
Devin Haney, manager Marty Voice, has been introduced to the pay-per-view audience. This would be twice. Was he on the undercard of any of those?
Well, his deal is different than we can't compare Eastside Cruz deal with the Devin Haney, because you understand that
but I can't say definitively.
All right,
that Isaac Cruz versus Tank will outsell Haney versus Tank, being that Isaac Cruz isn't bringing any numbers himself, right? When you're negotiating a deal, right? You are with an undercard fighter and a headlining fighter. That undercard fighter isn't responsible for his numbers. He's on the undercard.
Right.
Nobody came to see you, Otis.
Right. But remember, we're not talking about just Live Gate. When you say coming to see you, that's just Live Gate. We're still talking about the pay-per-view buys. See, that's what I'm talking about too now.
Yeah, those pay-per-view buys belong to Spence and Crawford. They don't belong to Isaac Cruz.
Right, but remember, I listen, I'm on record saying this on your channel and even mine. We, from a business aspect, the fans look at, I'm just buying the Spence and Crawford fight. I'm just buying that. The way we look at it in the business, and I gave this illustration months and months ago when I first started on YouTube, and I'll do it right now and again. It's all about being in a restaurant. This is how we build fights up in the business. You got you have your bread and water, then you have your appetizer, you know what I mean? Then you got your full-course meal. And that's just how we do it. And so when I'm talking from a business perspective, I'm talking about everything in its totality. Let me give you an example to illustrate my point since you brought up Devin Haney. What was Devin Haney's 3 fights that he fought under Top Rank? His last 3 under Top Rank.
Wait, you got to get this super chat, bro.
Oh, yeah. I meant to put it was right here in my screen, but I was trying to get it here. But go ahead. What was this? I'm going to get the super chat right after this.
Read the super chat. Handle the business first. Me and you can argue.
No. It's okay. I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Okay.
We're not arguing, Wyatt. So we're talking.
No.
I just want to hear it.
You had 2 fights with George Kambosos and Vasyl Lomachenko.
I rest my case. Lifeline music.
You can't say I rest my case.
Hold on, YSM.
Now you
YSM.
Now you want to. I wanted him to read the super chat first, but now
I gotta make it. YSM. I gotta make this entertainment, bro. We don't get this from you and I. Hold on. Lifeline music. Double salute to you, Lifeline. Lifeline music says, salute. I don't see Tank losing anytime soon. Boots and the Mexican Monster are the boogeyman. Spence will have a solid game plan for an upset in the rematch, and Haney, I believe, might lose his next fight. And we're going to get with that last piece that you said about Devin Haney and what's supposed to be and what's going to happen in the fight with him and Regis. We got the breakdown and prediction coming up real soon, Lifeline. So double salute to you again for your support and contribution to the channel. YSM, I had to make it entertaining, my brother. But what I was basically pointing out is this is why Devin Haney was able to generate the guarantees that he got from Top Rank, because he was fighting fighters that was from other countries. Kambosos, where he went out there to Kambosos' home country. And of course, here in America, Lomachenko. And so what I'm saying is Devin Haney did headline those shows. But remember, he was in those shows against the opposition who had countries on their back. And that's why I believe that Isak Cruz and Tank Davis is because that's how the business is set up. And you're right. I can't just assume that. But at the same time, when you look at the guys that Devin Haney fought, they had countries on their back. So he can say, hey, I generated this, but at the same time, the question becomes, would he have generated those same numbers or that same appeal if he didn't have those dance partners that he had, the same way I'm proving about Isak Cruz and Tank? That was just my point on it.
But Marty, this is the reality of it. It works if the person of the other country is a star. Isaac Cruz is not a star. Where does Isaac Cruz rank as far as Mexican boxing goes? Detail. Could you touch it? Everybody, I want everybody's opinion. Where does he rank as far as Mexican boxing goes? Go. If you had to give your top 5 most popular Mexican fighters, who are they?
It's a lot of Mexican fighters, though, Wyatt. So that's a hard question.
I'm saying, give me your top 5. Of course, we all know who number 1 is.
You talking about the people that fight now, or you talking about overall?
No, the people that's fighting now.
Oh, okay. All right, go see any heavyweight. I mean, any weight division, right?
Any weight. Top 5 popular. That's everybody in the chat. Give me your top 5 most popular Mexican fighters. I feel like it's safe to assume number 1, right? We all know who number 1 is. You can close your eyes. We know it's Canelo Alvarez. Number 2 is probably a toss-up between David Benavidez and Ryan Garcia.
I agree with that.
That's 3 of them right there.
All right, and so then you got your can you go Virgil Ortiz?
Where is he?
I can't go no Virgil over no Isak Cruz, who's been very active and competitive. Nah.
He's been very active and competitive. Is Isak headlining his own fights?
No, but understand. But here's the thing: Devin Haney is.
We ain't talking about Devin Haney right now. We are talking about the top 5 most popular Mexican fighters.
Isak Cruz is not in the top 5, nor is he a star right now.
Okay, so your theory is correct. When both fighters are stars from other countries, I agree. But we've seen Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley sell. We've seen Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah sell. 2 black fighters can sell.
Floyd Mayweather, anybody's going to sell, even with Birdo, bro.
Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, did it sell?
Yes, but see, that's my point.
Wait, did it sell more than Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence?
I don't know.
My manager, yes, it did. So
I don't know. I do not know. Do you know where that fight was at, bro? They fought at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, they did. Okay, yeah.
They fought at AT&T, way bigger than that T-Mobile. We was in that T-Mobile arena, bro.
It was way bigger. How much was that gate, though?
I don't know. But I know it was
Detail. Hey, Detail. He's trying to wiggle out, Detail.
No,
I got it.
No.
I got it.
Hey, man, listen here, man. Terrence Crawford can't sell nothing, man. Before Terrence Crawford fought, hold on, because I'm about to prove your point now. You said that Devin Haney can sell more than Isak Cruz because he's headlining. How many shows did Terrence Crawford headline, bruh?
Headline is still sold more than Isaac Cruz. So what I'm saying to you is don't automatically assume that 2 fighters that are coming from different countries will outsell 2 Americans or 2 Black Americans. Don't make that assumption.
If those guys are not stars, let's use your theory.
You said Terrence Crawford wasn't a star.
No, I didn't. Terrence Crawford is a star. He's not.
Okay, you made that assumption. You said he don't sell. Okay, my bad.
No. Yeah, I'm just. Hey. We all know what his numbers was before he fought Spence. We know what his numbers was, bro. We know what his numbers was.
Is Gervonta Davis a bigger star than Errol Spence?
Yes.
I believe he is today. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so at around the time, is Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford's popularity on par?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's
So
tough.
I think
Maybe. No, I
that's
think Devin
possible.
Haney was more popular
I'll
than
say,
Terrence
cool.
Crawford ever
So
was. Like, because you
That's
know why I
possible.
say that, YSM? You can't
Good.
go nowhere on these YouTube streets and not hear Devin Haney name. So
True.
I'm not.
Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, I would be more inclined to believe that that sold more than Terrence Crawford and Spence, but I can't say that
It
because I
didn't.
don't have any evidence. I don't know,
No.
but I do know, but I do know that they fought at AT&T Stadium. It's a heavily populated Mexican American fan base close to the border of Texas. We know
Yes.
that's one of the main reasons why they fought there. We don't know what the price point was as far as the maximum is concerned, but let's put it in perspective since we're doing that. When
Detail, I'm
Devin
about to get
Haney,
in detail.
I know, but when Devin Haney fought Lomachenko, their top price point was like $1,500. But when you looked at how Tank Davis fought, I'm just using Ryan Garcia as an example, being from another country, you know what their price point was. You couldn't even sit nowhere up top, nowhere in the nosebleed section for $1,500. So
Because
what
he
I'm
was a star. And Ryan's from this country though, but because he was a star.
right, but I'm just saying, Ryan Garcia has a country on his back, just like Isak Cruz. This is no hate on Devin, but let's keep it clear here. Devin Haney was supposed to sell what he sold because he was fighting Kambosos, which was twice, and Lomachenko. He was fighting guys from other countries. He's supposed to sell. But then if you're going to do that, what was the numbers when he fought another American that was not from another country? We can't find it because that's the promotional landscape this is the promotional foundation basically that they're using. This is why I say Adrian Broner, Terrence Crawford, Tank Davis, and Devin Haney, all four of those fighters have those same attributes in common. They're promoted a certain way where they only are able to generate big money when they fight people that are non-American. Numbers don't lie.
Wait, D-Town. Mikey Garcia, AT&T Stadium. Whose hometown is that?
Errol Spence.
Yeah. Huh?
I said you mentioned the Mexican community, and that's why they had it there. But whose hometown is that?
Errol Spence.
Errol Spence's, but they had the right formula.
Whoa. How many times has Errol Spence headlined there? How many times has Mikey Garcia headlined?
Mikey Garcia only headlined there once with Spence, but Spence have headlined there several times.
So I'm just saying, Marty, do not assume just because it is two dudes from different countries that it'll outsell two Americans. Two Americans, because I have clearly shown you where Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford that is not the case. The guys from both countries have to be stars. And I don't think that Isaac Cruz is a star. Isaac Cruz is not more popular than Devin Haney. He's not.
Look, can I say this, fellas?
I'm not saying he is. Hold on one second, Dean. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Isak Cruz is a more bigger star or more popular than Devin Haney. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about what's going to sell tickets. That's what I'm talking about. And we don't have a record of Devin Haney fighting outside of the West Coast doing that. We have a record, and he's a headliner, to your point. He's the headliner, but you can't find all these fights where he's outside of the West Coast doing that. So what I'm saying, hey, he fought Kambosos where at again?
In Australia. But where is Isaac Cruz doing these numbers at?
But YSM.
That's why he's not David Ruffin.
No, I understand, but this is what I'm saying. This is why he fought Kambosos out there. This is why he fought him out there. Where did he fight?
We are talking about Isaac Cruz.
No, why yes. I'm about to prove your point about Spence's hometown, right? When Devin Haney Fort Lomachenko. Where did they fight at again?
They fought in Las Vegas.
Who hometown is that?
Devin.
It ain't no different than Errol Spence being hometown in Texas fighting Ryan Garcia.
I get it, but you said
it's the same thing.
But you made it seem like it was the reason it was because of what Mikey was bringing as far as the Mexican community, and I'm no, bro, because Ugas did.
If Mikey wasn't
Texas,
but he's from another country. You're proving my point, bro.
That fight was held in Dallas, Texas, because the A side was from Dallas, Texas.
I understand that, but he had the right dance partner who was representing another fan base.
Hey, fellas, can y'all look up what Isaac Cruz versus Gervonta Davis did the first time?
And while they're doing that, let me put this in perspective. The entire promotion, remember, it takes several months to promote a fight. They wasn't promoting Davis versus Isaac Cruz for 6, 7, 8 weeks. So we got to put that in perspective too.
It was about 4 to 5 weeks.
Because he was a last-minute replacement, bro.
Yeah, it was about 4 to 5 weeks. Rolly caught that case kind of early. You know what we're going to do, D-Town? We're going to bet a grub on it, man. If Devin and Tank, I'm highly... That fight's going to happen within the next 2 fights.
You was going in and out. Why you say that again?
I said, I think Devin versus Tank is going to happen within the next 2 fights.
I wish. That would be great.
We're going to bet a grub. We're going to bet a dinner that Devin and Tank's going to outdo Devin and Isaac Cruz. I'm sorry, Tank and Isaac Cruz.
Devin Haney versus Tank Davis
will outsell Gate and pay-per-view will outsell Gervonta Davis versus Isaac Cruz.
I bet you they do it if it's on the West Coast. You're only proving my point. Devin Haney's not going outside the West Coast, bro.
The big fights are at Vegas, so that's like saying, "Oh, Floyd only sell in Vegas." Shit, I don't have to sell anywhere else.
No, my point is he was fighting Lomachenko in Vegas.
It's a detail. It sounds like he don't want to smoke with the bet, man.
Listen,
Marty know.
hey, man, listen here, man. Every woman that been around me know I'm a cheap date. It don't take that much to appeal to me, brother. Hey, let me tell you like this. We both I noticed something about YSM. We both from Philly. We both like steak and potatoes. The difference is you like the rib-eye steak with a baked potato, and I like cheese steaks and french fries. Brother, it's still steak and potatoes. That's all I'm saying, bro.
That was a good one, buddy. That was a good one. Hey,
well,
yo,
listen,
I gotta
go ahead.
But yo, I appreciate y'all, man. Yo,
always, my brother.
This is definitely a good time. I'm gonna keep watching, but yeah, I love you. I love what y'all do, man. Dean, D-Town, keep doing your thing.
Yes,
Marty,
sir.
My God, man, I appreciate y'all.
Oh, thank you.
You already
bro.
know YSL.
Hold up. Is it a bet or no? I'm trying to figure.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, YSM got the big money. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
here we go.
I got to eat at your restaurant. I ain't getting no cheesesteak and fries on your dime, brother. I got to eat at your joint. I got to eat at your restaurant, brother.
This the dude that got like 7 hustles. He tell you he manages you. He manages your credit. He manages this. Like,
that is correct.
Marty, a one-stop shop for it all.
Hey, I'm gonna be watching y'all videos, both of y'all, after the fight, and I want to see if I see both of y'all together and y'all start eating. I'm a comment in the comments say who paying for that meal.
Well, first of all, the bet. Well, wait a minute. There has to be another bet before that bet because the bet should be if they're gonna fight in the first place, Dean. I mean, that's all I'm saying. We don't want to bet. I don't want to stay then these guys don't rumble.
Don't never fight, yeah.
Hey, Dean, you know who should be paying for our meal? You know who should be paying for that meal? The nigga that keep making videos about me and Marty.
Hey,
yeah, make him pay.
Hey,
yeah, make him pay. The guy with the slick hair.
Yeah, Manager Marty and YSL.
You know our name, man.
I wanted to say this. I was scrolling through YouTube and I had seen that. And I'm like, yo, why YSM and manager Marty the coolest dudes? But I seen what he was trying to do. It's all good. It's like, see, we come from Philly. And people don't understand. Just because your city, y'all be quick to turn your back on your fighters, we gonna stand behind Jerron Boots Ennis for a good reason. He's a phenomenal talent. We not just behind Jerron. There's plenty of guys in Philly that fight that we would tell you in a heartbeat, yeah, if he fights such and such, he gonna lose. I love Stephen Fulton. I wanted him to win, but I had a feeling that Noah in a way would beat him. But Jerron is in a whole other situation. And I wanted to say this, y'all. I don't know too many people that's a bigger Tank supporter than me. Shout out to D-Town. Shout out to manager Marty YSM. All I know is I got hold my favorite fighter to what he said. He said he ain't want no rematch. They've been trying to do this Issa Cruz rematch for the last 3 fights. And manager Marty, the reason why I don't think it's going to sell, because you can't find me or Gervonta Davis fan nowhere that wants to see that fight. I be everywhere on the YouTube streets. Nobody that supports Tank Davis is excited about him fighting Issa Cruz. We're saying fight anybody else but Issa Cruz. And this the biggest thing. Tank and Calvin Ford has been saying we going to set the world on fire. We making big moves in silence. We doing X, Y, and Z. They being real secretive about who they fighting. It ain't no point to be secretive about Issa Cruz. Issa Cruz also messed up on his last fight when that awkward boy almost beat him in there. You know what people were saying after that fight? Issa Cruz really lost the fight with Tank Davis now. So I don't think that it's going to sell that good, y'all, because I don't know nobody, and it's not me just saying this. I don't know one person that supports Tank Davis that wants to see him fight him. So
I can agree to that. I can agree that a lot of people don't want to. And I said that right before you came on, Dean, that a lot of, and before YSM even came on, a lot of people don't want to see that fight between Issa Cruz and Tank. But I just gave 5 reasons that it'll be easier for the promotion to basically sell it. Before you go, YSM, I got a super chat. Somebody asked you a question before you go, Y. Double salute to my guy again, Lifeline Music. Thank you for your support and contribution. And we also have Nick J in the chat. I wanted to personally acknowledge her. So double salute to the queen as well. YSM, do you think Canelo is avoiding David Benavidez?
Yes. I don't like to say fighters are scared because I believe all fighters will fight. Like they fought the best for free in the amateurs. So all this is a money game. But I don't know if it's Eddie Reynoso or it's Canelo, but it's something that he sees in that style that is making them apprehensive from getting in the ring. I ain't saying he's scared. I'm just saying it's obvious that they don't want that fight. And any Canelo fan, I'm not taking away from his greatness or anything like that. But look, we got to call a spade, because if you're talking about fighting Jaime Munguia, the world wants to see David Benavidez. The world's not asking for Jaime Munguia. So if you're not going to give him a name equal to David Benavidez, then we got to call it what it is, man.
Yep, you got it. That's it. You're right about it.
But fellas, I feel like with the Issa Cruz thing, I think that is doing a disservice because, like I said, Coach Calvin and them been saying this for the last 3 fights that he been wanting this Issa Cruz rematch. My thing is, why would Tank rematch Issa Cruz when you could sell way more rematching Ryan Garcia? It's like I haven't seen Tank do no rematches. And Tank said he don't want that fight. And I know Tank and his team has been hearing that people do not want to see that fight. At this point, we done got so spoiled from 2023 that it changed the pendulum. Whatever you was going to do prior to this year, that was cool. But now people going to be on Tank if he fight Issa Cruz. They're going to be on because they're going to say, they're going to continue with the narrative, manager Marty. He ain't fighting nobody, which I did a video on to show how untrue that is. And then Issa Cruz is not, I don't see that many people interested in Issa Cruz, even from the Mexican standpoint. Like, I don't think he gets as much love as a David Benavidez, as a Canelo.
Oh, no, man. No.
As even a people might not like me saying this, but even like a Williams Zepeda. I think
he's still green. He's still Eastside Cruz still green in the business.
Yeah, and I think Raymond Matala. People would like to see Tank Davis versus Raymond Matala before they'll want to see him versus Issa Cruz, because Tank sells, Manager Marty, when you put somebody in there with him that people think could possibly beat him. I don't think it's nobody that actually thinks that Issa Cruz could beat Gervonta Davis, and he beat him with one hand. So I just think Tank has catapulted to a different stratosphere now, because there's no way. I think that if you put Tank Davis and Issa Cruz in Las Vegas, that'll sell more than a Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis at the Barclays. So if I'm Tank, he's in a position where you ain't got to end. That's the other thing, Manager Marty. They're on a different network contract now. I have a hard time believing that Amazon Prime wants to kick their network off with boxing with a B-level fight. I just don't think that that'd be good business. Could his second or third fight in a year be Issa Cruz? No problem. But you got to see one of the killers that people been wanting you to see, because we haven't seen you against nobody, none of the four kings besides Ryan Garcia. That's why I get on people when they say Tank ain't fight nobody. First of all, none of them have fought each other, and Tank's the only one to fight one of the four kings. So I don't think that him and Devin Haney does super numbers, because I don't even really believe that Devin Haney has fans. I think they Tank haters. I'm going to tell you why I think that. If Devin Haney had fans, he wouldn't have got booed on his way out in his hometown. If Devin Haney had fans, they would be doing more than 150,000 pay-per-view buys. Because as much as you hear his name in the streets, it's not resulting into profit. If he do 100,000 against Regis Prograis, 75,000 against Regis Prograis, then that says what it is. Because I guarantee everybody that bought that Lomachenko fight, I'm willing to bet 95% of them bought that Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis fight. But all the other people, they're not buying the Devin Haney fight. So I just think Tank is in a weird position, Manager Marty, where he damned if he do, damned if he don't. Because this is the other part that people, I think, is not realistic. While I agree with Manager Marty right here, it might have to be Issa Cruz, because everybody else is either has another fight lined up in the beginning of the year, or just for this last month, or in this month. Tank's supposed to be fighting at the beginning of the year. I doubt Devin Haney, Shakur Stevens, and all these guys will fight him in a 2-month period, in a 2-month time span. But I'll say this. When you got Rolly Romero talking about he don't want to fight Ryan Garcia, when you got Teofimo Lopez not trying to fight Ryan Garcia, when you got Ryan Garcia not trying to fight Devin Haney, one of them got to fight Tank. Because I never understood this detail, and Manager Marty, why aren't they running to the bag? If I'm any of them fighters, Manager Marty, I am saying Tank Davis' name every single chance I get. But I think the problem is they don't want to make that sacrifice to fight Tank where he is at. People they don't like that he's such a star, Manager Marty. So I feel as though a lot of envy goes into a lot of these people trying to make it hard to make these fights, like Bob Arum, saying that the only way he would make the fight with Shakur Stevenson is if Tank go across the street. Well, to me, that's a big duck, because you know that that's not going to happen. You know that Tank Davis is not fighting on ESPN or Top Rank. Like, you know this already, Bob Arum. So why even put that out there in the world when everybody knows that that is not going to happen? So, like I said, Manager Marty, I don't know too many people that want to see him versus Issa Cruz. Do I think it'll still sell? I think it'll still sell, because I think Tank Davis' name is that high now. But I will say this. I think he has better fights lined up that they should be looking in to make happen. And I land my plane there.
Got you. Let me let Rodzilla Jones know. Salute to you, Rodzilla Jones, for being a subscriber and a part of the Roll the Tape film crew. I know YouTube has been acting very, very funny and weird to me in this channel extremely lately, according to the viewership, as you all see when I publish content. But we don't complain. Like I told D-Town, we don't complain. We take the good with the good, bad with the bad. So if they don't let you know, they, meaning YouTube, don't let you know when I go live, just understand Monday through Friday, 4:00 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back on here again all week, just so you know, Rodzilla Jones. Also, we got a guy named Chris Trucker. I do recall seeing his name somewhere, either in the comments section.
Hey, Manager Marty, that's my homeboy. He from Baltimore. That's somebody that Tank grew up with. That's my guy.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing his name somewhere, either in the chat or in some of my published content. Chris, if you can do me a great favor, and Deem is here to back me up. We had a situation where someone placed their name as Dub Rightside, and Dub Rightside has been on this channel a few times, and I thought that was really him. And it wasn't him. It was a picture of a man's private area that I didn't even realize it until Demon was like, yo, look at what that is. And so from now on, I want to make sure I'm on point with. I always tell people that the first time they come on anyway, to show your picture and your video first while you're in the background. And I always do that anyway. But now I'm more heightened with my alerts. You know what I mean? Just because of that situation that just happened just the other day. Chris Trucker, he did show his video. If you want to turn your camera off when I let you on, that's cool too, Chris. We got him here now. What's going on, Chris? How you, brother?
What's up, driver?
What's up, man? Out here driving on a New Jersey Turnpike. You know, just like, man, let me hop up here and, chop it up with y'all, man. My Philly Bulls, it's my second home, man. You know
Straight
what I mean?
up.
So, yeah, man, I'm just cooling.
Now, Chris, I was sitting up there talking about how most Tank fans don't want to see Issa Cruz fight. Can you elaborate on that? Like, do you know too many people that actually want to see that fight?
Me, I don't really want to see it, because one of the reasons why I don't want to see it, like, Manager Marty, he's talking more from a business standpoint on why it would work. So I'm just, from a fan standpoint, I don't want to see it, because I don't really think Tank has any more to prove in that fight with him, and I don't really think he's gonna get any credit for fighting him, even though the guy's ranked number like, he's highly ranked in the WBA, but I don't think he's gonna get any credit for fighting him. He barely gets credit for beating some of the top fighters that he's beaten. So I really want to see him mix it up with, of course, Devin Haney, Shakur, and all them. I want to see him mix it up with the guys who people calling for, but some of those fights never going to happen, because you got some strategic ducking going on, man. You know what I mean? So you got, in my opinion, I think guys is purposely staying out of the way when they not, when it comes to fighting Tank. They always make sure they busy when it's time, when the opportunity is there. So you can't really blame Tank for that part, but it's still expected of him to give us the fights that we want. But at the end of the day, we just fans, bro.
Yes, it's still, and I mentioned that too earlier, Chris, that most fans wouldn't want to see the Issa Cruz fight against Tank, but from a business perspective. With that being said, we're about to move right along, and we're going to talk, since we brought up Devin Haney's name already. I would love to hear all of your perspectives. Yours, Chris, DC's, Dean, Detail Boxing, and everybody that's watching live and living color in the chat. And even those that are watching the replay of this live, in the comments section below, your prediction and breakdown of the fight that's going to happen Saturday night between Regis Prograis and Devin Haney. But before we do that, I do realize that there are women watching me all across the world, and they're in the chat engaging. So fellas, y'all know I'm going to have to do what I got to do. First of all, hold up. Let me take my glasses off first, and let me drink some water, Chris Trucker, so I can get my Johnny Gill voice on for the ladies. Excuse me 1 second, brothers. All right, fellas, step to the side. This is my ravishing Rick Rude moment. Step to the side. Let me talk to the ladies right now. Ladies, thank you so much for your support of this channel. I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, from Manager Marty to you. Yes, you, girl. Stop looking around, worrying about who I'm talking about. You. Yes, you are a queen, and I double salute you. Thank you so much for investing your time and your financial resources to enhance the visual and audio quality of this content and the published content on this channel. Thank you for investing your time, the most important asset, more than money. Thank y'all so much. I really, really appreciate your support. And you always been holding me down since day one. So to all the ladies out there, from Manager Marty, I love you. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate you. All right, fellas, now let's get back to some boxing now. The ladies already heard me. Now we got to get into this. The fight's happening Saturday night. Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney. Now, just yesterday, we were on here, and we gave a preview, just a sneak peek, a preview of what both fighters had to do, or what tool or what strength that both of these fighters had to basically win this fight. Now we need to hear a prediction and how the fighter that you choose is going to win this fight. I'll start with you first, Chris, because this is your first time on the panel. I'm going to start with you first, Chris. Chris, who wins this fight, Devin Haney or Regis Prograis, and how will they win this fight?
I think I'm picking Devin to win because I just simply think Regis don't have the skill set to beat, get to Devin and get to him enough to hurt him. You know what I mean? I don't think he has I think Devin going to box, despite what Devin talking about as far as he gonna, he gonna beat him up and all that type of stuff. I think Devin gonna be smart in there. He gonna make a business decision. He gonna box. You get what I'm saying? If he box, he's gonna outbox Regis. You get what I'm saying? That's what I think. And if he wants to win, I think that he needs to box. With Regis needs to make this a fight, plain and simple. Like he gotta make it a fight. Some way, somehow. He got to make it a fight. He got to make it a scrap. He got to take away Devin jab, and make Devin fight him so he can clip him. That's pretty much, that's all he really pretty much got. And if Devin can take his power, then it's going to make it just that much harder for Regis to do anything. You know what I mean? If Devin can take his power. But, yeah, Regis, his way of winning, his keys to winning is making it a fight, making it rough, making it dirty, making it a scrap, and Devin's key to winning is boxing. Plain and simple. That's my take.
Fair enough. We got Devin Haney right here as the winner for Chris. Lucky McKinnell's, salute to you, my brother, day one supporter. I appreciate you joining the panel as always, my brother. Devin Haney or Regis, who wins this fight, and how will the winner win?
Hey, you got to go with Devin. He got Snack on his side.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot all about that, bro.
You can't go against Snack. Hey, in the beginning, I was thinking, Devin used to get tired later on in the rounds, but with that Snack, man, Regis can't beat that.
There you go on your screen. It enhanced performance. That was safe, Deem. The snack program works, Lucky. It works. All right, DC Jeroy. I mean, you heard what these two guys said. It looked like people in the chat are even saying that Devin will win by decision. Devin or Regis? Who wins and how, DC?
I'm going with my man Regis on this one. I'm calling an upset. I'm going with my man Regis. And that's a hot bet too, actually. So I agree with everybody from a boxing standpoint, boxing pedigree. Hands down, Devin has that. But I've been listening to Regis in a couple of his interviews, and he's been talking some real good shit. So I'm actually drinking the Kool-Aid, believing the hype, man. Him say he's gonna go out there, he's gonna hurt him. He's been working on some things that he haven't been working on before, and he said he's been looking good in sparring. So you know, when a cat is focused like that, and putting himself in a position to do things outside of the norm, I'm gonna go with the underdog. So yeah, I'm going my man Regis for this one.
All right, you got it, Deem. That's 2-1. And I got people in the chat saying they going for Regis. I got some people saying that they going for Devin. What say you? Regis or Devin? Who wins and how?
Hey, Manager Marty, I'm going to start by saying this. It better be an entertaining fight, all that trash both of them been talking. Especially everything everybody been saying about Shakur Stevenson. Don't go out there and put up a snooze fest. If you think it was bad for Shakur, it'd be 10 times worse for y'all.
Yep.
I'm just saying. But I'll say this, Manager Marty. You know, coming from Philly, man, and boxing, and you know where we from, man, you got to, when you come off that porch, somebody going to try you. Devin Haney and Regis, what he needs to do to win is keep Devin on that back foot. And Manager Marty in detail, I don't know if y'all noticed, when Devin Haney feels as though he's getting in trouble, he leans to his right. And that's why he gets hit a lot, Manager Marty, from that straight left hand or that left hook. And it's kind of a hard habit to change when you're going against a southpaw, because that's the natural. If you lean to the right, that's the jab side of the right-hand fighter. But when you lean to the right, that's the strong hand of the left-handed fighter. And one thing about Regis, if he, when he backs Devin up, back him up, he got to be strategic in the way he attacked. Don't do what De Los Santos did, and as soon as you get close, start lunging and doing the spin around like Michael Jackson and Thriller, because you missed them so bad. Be patient in there. Set it up. Fake like you throw the jab, fake the jab, and then come over with the left. Act like you're going to throw the jab. He's going to lean to his right, hitting with the left, and then go to the body. Regis has to be very active to win this fight. The thing is, Manager Marty, and you know this best, I have a hard time picking fighters who don't got great footwork against a pure boxer like Devin Haney. And I don't know if he's going to be able to close the distance. That's my biggest thing. And actually, he don't have Loma. Everybody talking about what Devin and what Loma did to Devin. Lomachenko's feet is 10 times better than Regis Prograis. Like his footwork, that's what he's good at. That's why he was able to be on them angles with Devin, and Devin couldn't get out the way of his punches. So if Regis don't, and that's the biggest thing. I got Devin winning, unanimous decision. If he knocks him out, though, I'll be up here, Manager Marty, and you will have the hottest YouTube channel on the street.
Look at your screen, Dean. Look at your screen if he knocked this guy out.
Hey, Manager Marty ever had my shirt on?
Hey, if he knocks this man out, my eyebrows are going to be so high because, like I tell you all the time, Manager Marty, he ain't knocked nobody out before my daughters was conceived. Forget born in pregnancy, before they was conceived. So I think that Regis, like Chris said, he got to make it dirty. He got to actually close that distance. But I just don't see him doing it, Manager Marty. I got the first 6 rounds being nip and tuck. After that, I got Devin Haney dominating the last 6 to 7 rounds.
All right. You got it. Detailed boxing. I mean, we've heard both of these guys talk a whole lot of trash, Regis and Devin. We even heard Bill Haney talking trash to Evans Tobler, who's the strength and conditioning coach of Regis Prograis. And we also heard Devin Haney say that he's going for the knockout in this fight. Detail, who wins, Regis or Devin, and how?
But one thing I want to say is that by Devin using snack, that plays a part in it. You know what I'm saying? For me. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about that on your screen, Detail? You talking about that on your screen right there on the screen?
Yo, y'all fools, wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I just have to say that it's gonna play a part. I don't know how much, but it will play a part because I don't think they spending their money to deal with Victor Conte for free or for charity. So I think that he looked up on that shelf and he seen what he wanted, he picked it down, and they start using it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying it's illegal. What I'm saying is that he went to that man for a reason. And I seen some things that Devin Haney started doing, good as far as be able to fight longer and stuff in these fights than what he was doing before he, early in when he started dealing with snacks. But I like Regis Prograis, but I'm not saying he gonna win. What I'm
Who you
saying is,
think gonna win, detail? Who gonna win?
I would give 60 to Devin Haney, and I would give 40 to Regis Prograis. But I like Regis Prograis, you know, by how he is. You know what I'm saying? The way he act, the way he comes. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a whole bunch of people behind him trying to build him up and make him look like Floyd Money Mayweather. He's coming from the dirt and from the mud, still right today. You know what I'm saying? So I would give the edge to Devin Haney because of the snacks and because he could box. But if Regis Prograis he get in there and put his body on him like Tyson Fury tried to do Deontay Wilder and stuff like that, and make it rough and go to the body and slow him down by going to the body, because I don't understand why people keep head hunting. I mean, Errol Spence he does it great. He understands the game. Go to the body, take the wheels from him, because we know that Devin Haney can move. That man can move all night now. So if you go to his body, slow him down, then you're able to work on top and rough him up or whatever the case might be. But if you're going for head hunting, it's gonna be a long night for you. And Devin Haney, he ain't coming to lose. And I know the Regis Prograis ain't coming to lose. So if I had to pick anybody, I would give the edge to Devin Haney. But I would be going for Regis Prograis.
All right. So I'm going to give my breakdown and prediction right now, and I'm gonna try not to be too long. So I think that Regis Prograis, he really, really talks very heavy because he has the confidence when he speaks. I do give him credit for that. I don't think he's doing this to sell tickets. I really believe, he really believes that he can beat Devin Haney. And like he told Devin in the press conference and in the interview and in the face-off, that you come in the box and I'm really coming to fight, for real, for real. And I do believe him. He has footwork issues that concern me. He also have technique issues that concern me. And to be more specific, if you look at the fight that he had with Zepeda, in the first 7 rounds, he only landed 70 punches out of 300 and something thrown. He's going to need to land way more punches against Devin Haney, particularly in those first 6 rounds. And the way that he has to land those punches, he needs the footwork to be able to advance and close the distance to do so. Because he's coming into the ring with a 4-inch reach disadvantage. So he has to get on the inside. I didn't see him mix up his punches in his last couple of fights. And like Detail said, the head hunting. He's got to go to Devin Haney's body and attack Devin Haney early on. But he has to get on the inside to do it. So he's going to have to bend his knees and get up under those shots. He was getting tagged a lot in his last several fights. Not to my liking. Once again, technique on defense. So just those things alone that I've mentioned, I just don't see him having enough to etch out the win. He does have power. I have to give him credit for that. But you have to land the shots on Devin Haney for him to feel the power. Because just having power and being aggressive is not enough. Let's make sure that we are clear here. One of the judging criteria is effective aggression, not just moving forward and advancing with aggression, but being effective with the aggression. And I think that Devin Haney has the goods. He's a special fighter. He has the goods to neutralize, the disadvantages and the advantages. And I'm saying the disadvantages, meaning the poor footwork, and the advantages is the aggression and the power of Regis Prograis. Devin Haney has boxing skill. He has great footwork. He has great punch placement. If you look at his last fight that he had with Lomachenko, he was going up, down, down, up. If you know anything about boxing, you know what I'm talking about. He was landing to the head, then the body to the head, which was confusing Lomachenko. He didn't know when the right hand was coming. And I believe that all Devin has to do is get behind his stick, keep that 4-inch reach advantage to his advantage. Don't try to get into an exchange with this guy unless you know he's really hurt. And don't clinch him too much. Don't even let him get on the inside because Devin can do some holding. Now, it might be excessive to some people's liking, but to me, I like it because he's getting his breathing intact and he's resetting. So me personally, I don't think Devin does a lot of excessive holding, but he's not going to have to because he has good footwork and Devin Haney has that jab, that reach. So it's one thing to have reach, and it's another thing to have the reach and a good jab with it. And Devin Haney has both. And I'm going to say it like this. Dean beat me to the punch. Detail may have said something about it, but I think everybody knows how I am and how I interpret the snack program. Let me put it back on your screen one more again. If Devin Haney knocks Regis Prograis out, let me put your core up there too. I'm going to be extremely suspicious. But not saying nothing illegal, but I am going to be extremely suspicious. Ain't no doubt about it. But I will predict this. Within 4 or 5 rounds, just watch and see, within 4 or 5 rounds, Regis Prograis' nose will be bleeding. Just know that. Within 4 or 5 rounds, you heard it first live right here. Within 4 or 5 rounds, Devin Haney's going to make sure that he busts Regis Prograis' nose. And to end it, Devin Haney has recovery and he has stamina. Go back. I told Detail on this in a personal conversation weeks ago. Go back and look at Devin Haney's last 5 or 6 performances, and you will see that in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and even the 12th round, Devin Haney fights like he's in round 6 again. In other words, if he wasn't on the snack program and it was actually round 6, he would be a little bit tired, right? But he got the snack program, and so he has the longevity to recover and be able to still have enough in the tank as if it's the 6th round. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can go look at his last fight with Lomachenko. Look at that 12th round. And Devin Haney threw and landed a lot of punches in that fight. So all you got to do is look at the 12th round. If you don't want to go back there, look at the last 5 or 6. Look at that 12th round in that Lomachenko fight. And you'll see how much gas Devin Haney had in the tank. And he's going to have that in the tank and more. And I want to leave the audience with this. Before I get all of your last 30 seconds and before we close, I want to show y'all something that intrigued me. You ain't going to find this picture nowhere else. That's why I'm glad you are here tonight as the viewership is increasing exponentially. I saw something, and I don't want to assume. Listen, y'all, I call it right down the middle. Don't make a difference who it is. I had this strength and conditioning coach right here on this platform, and I interviewed him. So there's no hating or nothing, none of that. You know what I mean? But I seen this picture right here on your screen. Let me turn my camera on so y'all can see that. That was on Instagram the other day, and I just happened to see that. And I see a couple bumps on his back. I'm not accusing nobody, but all I'm saying, DC Geroy, Chris, Lucky, Deem, and Detail Boxing, when people was talking about Terrence Crawford, when people was talking about Manny Pacquiao, when they said he had acne on his back and Crawford had acne on his forehead, all this stuff like this here, in their 30s, hey, Regis in his 30s, and he got something. I don't know if that's acne. I'm not a medical physician or none of that. I'm just saying what I saw on his back. I don't know what bumps. I don't know what's going on. All I'm saying is I just want everybody to be clear and fair. And that's my breakdown of this. 30 seconds. DC Jeroy, it's on you. Give us your 30 seconds before we check on out, my brother.
Hey, that's the reason why. That's why I'm riding my man Regis. I think he thinking outside the box, man. He gonna do something out the box and surprise everybody. But we gonna see. As always, man, appreciate the opportunity, appreciate the time, and I'll always appreciate everybody's perspective on how things going down. So looking forward to this weekend, man, to see what takes place, and looking forward to the follow-up to see what cats think about post-fight. Other than that, enjoy your evening, brothers.
Salute DC Jeroy. Always a pleasure, my brother. Thanks for coming on in. Chris Trucker, last 30 seconds. What you got for us, my brother?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, man. Shout out to my guy Dean. You know what I mean? Shout out to Philly. You know what I
You
mean?
already know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. I think I got Haney winning. Unanimous decision. You know what I mean? Going to outbox Regis. He ain't got the skills. He ain't got the footwork. I don't think he gonna be trying to find Haney all night. That's what I think gonna happen. But yeah, I'm out though. Peace. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming through, bro. Anytime, brother. All right, Dean. I mean, you know how we do. Last
Yep.
30 seconds, bro. It's on you.
All I want to say is, man, Philly in the building. Hit that subscribe button, man. Make sure that y'all hit it twice so you get your notifications. You know what I'm saying? Manager Marty out here really putting on for these boxing streets, as far as education wise, as far as about the business of boxing and understanding certain things that we ain't understand before. I know you got certain little YouTube channels out here, Manager Marty, keeping your name in their mouth, but heavy is the head that wear the crown. You already know, bro. Keep doing your thing, Manager Marty. Best logo on YouTube. You know what I mean? Roller Tape Podcast. Hey, D-Town, man, I enjoy your work. You one of the thoroughest bulls in this boxing thing. So I just like that when y'all get together, y'all be talking about some real quality stuff. So I'll get at y'all. I'm not feeling the best, so I'm about to just go relax and chill for a second. All right?
Praying for your recovery, Dean. Hope you feel better, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming through, man. All right, Lucky McKinnels, my guy. Last 30 seconds, bro. What you got for us, man?
Hey, I want thank you for letting me on. I'm going with I'm gonna say I'm going with Regis, man. But
Oh, you ain't going with Devin no more?
I was never going with Devin. I'm not a Devin Haney fan. But
Okay.
it's hard to go against Snack. Going against Snack is like going against your girl. It's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation. I mean, like, Devin got that jab, man, and it's so hard to get past that jab.
Yep.
I mean, the only person I know I ever seen in boxing to get past a jab like that is probably Winky Wright. Winky Wright had like a real good defense. And some guys do not fight like that no more. But I would love for Regis to win. But some reason I feel like Devin taking it. I feel like Devin gonna have it. So I appreciate you letting me on. Shout out to D-Town. Shout out to Manager Marty, man. You have a good night.
Salute, Lucky. Appreciate you, bro. Always a pleasure, my man. Always. All right, D-Town, you know how we do. I'm going to let you close it out. But before you do, tune in tomorrow, live in living color. We back here again, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about some more boxing. We're going to talk about the business of boxing. We're going to have entertainment and education live in living color right here. Come on back. I appreciate everybody that joined us tonight. We had a pretty good crowd. Tonight. Appreciate your viewership. Appreciate those that contributed to the channel. Appreciate everybody that engaged in the chat. If you're watching the replay of this live, please feel free to go in the comment section so we can get some feedback. And once again, excuse me, D-Town, to all the ladies out there, thank y'all for your viewership. I'll tell you, oh my gosh, Manager Marty, love y'all. Appreciate it so much. All right, I'm done being smooth. D-Town, it's on you. Close us out, my brother.
I appreciate everybody who came today, all my brothers and my sisters. Just because we disagree on certain things don't mean that we're not family. We always family, and I want to ask y'all to pray for me, pray for my family, pray for Manager Marty. I'll be praying for y'all. And let's stick together and do this stuff right the first time. We're going to put something with something and go get something. Peace out. D-Town Boxing, Manager Marty. Family.